Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of Get Off the Damn Fence. That's right, we're back for another week, talking all the latest in sports and entertainment. And I'm joined as I am each and every week by co-host Calvin Thomas, co-host Justin Beard, the Barber Hurts. Man, I was distracted. This guy just started pulling on his. What is going on? We're off the rails.
Be professional.
Yeah, okay. You out on here with no mustache. Like it's just weird. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, folks. We appreciate you checking us out another week, talking all the latest. I mean, we got a lot to talk about tonight. I mean, this show tonight, I even texted us, hey man, y'all want to go on 8:45? Because we got a lot to cover, so I can't waste a lot of time. But just want to check in. Justin, how's everything going? How's the family? How's the little one?
Everything's going great.
That's a blessing, man. Calvin, everything good with the fam?
Man, everything's good on my end.
You know, people be asking me these questions, so I want to make sure I get that out the way. You know, we about family here. Get off the damn fence. We're not all just yelling at each other. Last week, we had a hell of a back and forth about Patrick Mahomes. People like, damn, y'all mad at each other? It's the
really.
We talk sports. That's what we do. Like if you come here, this is called Get Off the Damn Fence. We're not here to just always agree. I've been told so many times, y'all just gang up on Calvin like all the time. Calvin be wrong. Like if Calvin is wrong,
Calvin be wrong. That's
right. If he's wrong, what we supposed to let him get away with?
Like 800. I'm bad like a 800 percentage against you two with my opinions.
Some of the feedback I got over the weekend.
My verbiage is just second to none when I go against you two. I don't even
care
that that's two against none.
Bruh, I went to one of the old deacons in my old church. He turned 80. So I was met up with a lot of dudes I ain't seen in a long time, guys I grew up with. And a lot more people than I thought watch this show every week. And they was like, man, y'all be beating up on that little guy with the glasses. I said, nobody be beating up on that, man. That man give as much as he in the same way we disagree. He disagreeing with us. So what is this? Like, stop it. Anyway, there's no victims here. Everybody has an opinion. Some of us just state it, you know, in a more emphatic and powerful way. That's just
some of us are right, while others are wrong.
Yeah, all right. Anyway, let's get down to brass tacks. This past weekend, big event. We got to start there because it was the talk of everything. Saturday night, you know, people are on Netflix tuning in droves. I think they say 45 million people tuned in.
Numbers be iffy on Netflix.
Look, you can say what you want. I mean, the Tyson and Floyd fight. What was that? Roy Jones. Who did Tyson fight?
Tyson and Logan Paul.
Logan Paul. Yeah. But Roy's coming up. Floyd's coming up with Floyd and Tyson supposed to be fighting next year, but the Tyson and Jake Paul fight, I think, had way more than this fight. But this was really, if you are a boxing fan, this is pure boxing. Yes, the weight class is.
That is not me.
Yeah, so the weight classes is definitely it's enough to make you freeze for a second. Yeah.
I don't know where we're going with the show. I don't know where he was going that. Look, it was Saturday night, Netflix, Canelo versus Bud.
Huh?
You know you was frozen for
you was frozen for a minute.
Bruh, I was talking and then everything went black. I said, I'm gonna keep talking just in case it's still picking me up. I don't know. All right. No. So So clearly we're talking about the fight on Saturday night between Canelo Alvarez and Crawford. And again, if you are a boxing fan, this was a fight between two of the greatest at their weight divisions. But of course, when you get these mega fights, somebody's going to have to come up and wait. Somebody's going to have to come down and wait. So it's not going to be necessarily always an even matchup. The question going into the fight, a lot of people thought, was Bud moving up too much in weight? Was he going to be able to match what Canelo's? Now, Canelo's long. He does have good lift in his arms. Pause that. He does have good reach. and his punching power has always been what he's leaned on. But the skill, the tactician that Bud Crawford represents was always going to be what people lean to say what gave him the edge here. Calvin, we watched the fight together on Saturday night. What was your thoughts? Give the people your synopsis of what you witnessed when you watched this fight.
First of all, there's no reason that fight started at 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm old. That started at 1 a.m.
It was pathetic.
It was every fight before all the prelims with the distance. That started at 1 o'clock, and they walked out at 1 o'clock. Not like they started fight. They walked out, which is another 15 minutes. But besides that, the biggest issue, I'm gonna get this off in my hands first, I have with the sport of boxing is the refs. If you watch that entire fight, there is no way that you can say that it was 7-5 Bud. There is no way that you can have this. And
the judges.
The judges. And to have not one, but two judges scored 7-5 Bud is a complete and utter disgrace if you watch the entire fight. At worst, 8-4. I think I had it 9-3 when we were talking Saturday night. But that is one problem that I have in which you have to go above and beyond to beat your opponent, even when Bud was the aggressor, even when Bud made Canelo look silly out there at times. He, at this point, I believe he is the pound for pound best fighter in the world. And it's just a matter of what's next for him. I mean, I think he's got three options. He retires. He goes, I think he goes to 160 and tries to get six titles, or he waits for Ben Vidal and this is the guy that beat Canelo. I'm blanking on his name right now. You wait for them to fight, and you fight the winner. But at this point in time, Bud should not step in the ring unless he's the main card, unless he's getting more than $50 million easily, because he is the ace side of every fight going forward because of what he's done and what he did Saturday night against Canelo.
Justin, your thoughts?
Yeah, so watching this fight, I was hoping for a knockout. I was hoping that Crawford was going to knock his ass out, to be honest with you. So I didn't get that, but I got a domination right afterwards. So I'm okay with that. I'll take that. I just knew that Canelo, he just wasn't ready for Crawford. Crawford was just too hungry. I think Tank said it himself, like yo, he need that money. Like he's still after that bread. He's still after that check. So that's a different hunger that a lot of fighters, once you start getting those $70 million fights, $100 million fights, like that same hunger might not be the same. So I just knew that Terrence was he's just a different monster. His ability to switch fighting stances and stay within that stance the whole fight. Like he went southpaw and stayed there. Like that's difficult, bro. And it was nothing for him. Like that's what he does. So I think he needed that fight to put himself in the upper echelon of one of the greatest fighters of all time. Like he legitimately did that based off his run of completely just destroying his last few opponents. The highlights from this fight doesn't give the fight justice. That's how bad it was. That's how dominant it was. And this particular fight, that picture right there, that highlight right there, it was that look back that Canelo gave him like this. I know this nigga did not hit me like that. Like he had that look, and that was just a tip of the iceberg. So I'm mad I didn't get my knockout, but I'm glad that he had a chance to perform and dominate on one of the biggest stages on Netflix. On everybody is watching, millions watching. I think that number is lower than what it was. I think it was more people watching than that. It was just a great moment for Bud, and I like a rematch next just because he can get that $100 million paycheck. But if not, then just do what you want, bro. Like you can pick and choose now. You done fought everything you need to fight. If you want to go to Floyd Mayweather fight, I guess angle pause and start picking and choosing, bro. You earned it. You earned that. You can do whatever it is you need to do. I'm here for you, bro. Beautiful exhibition.
Well, I think this was a perfect full circle moment. If you look at Canelo's career, his big first major fight was against Floyd Mayweather, and many of us thought at the time he fought Floyd too early. Floyd got him before Canelo was ready, and I think it was the same. It was the same fight. Go back and watch that Floyd fight and watch what you saw on Saturday night. Floyd went southpaw. Floyd did the shoulder roll. Floyd did everything that Bud did on Saturday night. Go back and watch it. I mean, it was like Terrence Crawford decided, okay, I'm going to sit down and watch Canelo's fights. I'm not going to fight him like I fought Triple G. I'm not going to fight him like he literally said, like, okay, when is Canelo at his best? And that's when fighters trade with him and literally allow him to punch and you counter punch. That's when Canelo's at his best. So what did Bud do? Bud went southpaw and actually just jab, save that left, let the left go later in the fight, put combinations together, kept him on the move, made Canelo chase him down. And when he did, he made Canelo pay for chasing him. Canelo could not fight this fight. And a lot of the criticisms you've been hearing from a lot of the fellow Mexican fighters, they said, you supposed to be Mexican. We don't fight like that. Canelo was scared to push the action. Go back and watch how hesitant he was to let his hands go. Because every time Bud was countering him and hitting him back with something a little harder than what he expected. Remember, this was Terrence Crawford coming up in weight to try to fight this fight. This was not Canelo's a natural opponent for him. Bud took the risk, and it paid off. I give him all the credit in the world. It was actually beautiful. It was a beautiful fight to watch. Yes, I agree with you on the judges. We said the same thing. I didn't think it was that close. It certainly wasn't that close. At best, you can give him 3 rounds at best. And I even think that's because round 1 the activity was so low that, yeah, if you want to steal that one and give it to Canelo, fine. But other than that, he had 2 good rounds. For sure, he had 2 good rounds. And even in those, it wasn't like he was dominant. So, yeah, I just thought it was an excellent performance. And one of the best reasons for the rematch is the way this boxing is right now. You can put it on Netflix. People don't feel like they're getting robbed. You know what I mean? People will watch this on a rematch on Netflix. Don't have to pay $100 for a fight. Now, of course, you can do the rematch. They'll get the same money. The churn will be there. The promotion will be there. And I don't think you go right back to it, but I think give it a fight or 2 in between. Let Canelo go out there and get some wins underneath his belt. I will fight him again. Why not?
Is Canelo signed to the Saudis? Is that?
I don't think they technically have anybody, quote unquote, signed. I think this was like a joint promotion type deal, but I think that's what they're working on next. And it's a whole lot to that. The Ali Act is actually being challenged in court right now because their goal is to turn this into the UFC, where they have their own titles. Remember, Turkey owns Ring Magazine.
Fewer titles, the 4 fights that you want to see.
And it'll be the champions at each weight division, and they will be the recognized world champions. And according, not this, because he owns WBC and all those titles that you know from your childhood. You know what I mean? So I think that's the long game, and this was kind of like the launching show for it. The next couple shows will be more. I thought they did a bad job with the undercard, to be honest with you. We talked about that. They could have put some more featured fighters on there, household names. Yeah. And it just went too long. You got to put a tomato can in there, somebody get knocked out.
Somebody get knocked out early.
Get excited. You know what I mean? You got to. That's booking.
You speak on that, and Max Kellerman tried his best to cover that, like gloss over that. We got 2 even fighters. Like the whole card was just great even fighters. You're not going to see this much. I was like, yo, that's not good. That means everything's getting maxed out.
Yeah.
That's not good. Because what we grew up on, don't get me wrong, we had some great fights growing up, but those were household names. You know what I mean? But when I'm going to see a superstar, I'm going to see dominance. How did Tank get to the point where who Tank is, who he is
Tank
now?
Was knocking people out early.
You know what I mean? Like, that's how you build a star. Like
Floyd, Tank's worst fight was on undercard that Mayweather fight.
Exactly. And if you recall, and Floyd wasn't a knockout artist, but Floyd had the charisma. Pretty boy Floyd would go out there and talk trash, and you know what I mean, all that. And then when he fought De La Hoya, that put him in a different stratosphere. But you got to build to that. You don't just put guys out there against evenly matched opponents on a big card like this. Come on, man. That was a poor job on that part. Very poor job on that part. But other than that, I mean, I think they made a lot of missteps, to be honest. You got to get that fight in the ring before 12 o'clock, bro. You had to on the East Coast. That's why the viewership was down. People was on sleep.
It was 1 o'clock. Yeah. So what's the next major fight? in boxing?
Oh,
Is
I don't
it
know
just
if
a
you call
rematch?
it boxing. No, it's Tank versus Jake Paul
I can't count that because
in November.
Jake
That's
Paul
next
isn't a
month.
legitimate fighter.
He's a ranked fighter. He's a ranked fighter. But no, I don't know what the next great fight is because honestly, if you look at the heavyweight division, who do you consider the greatest heavyweight right now? Exactly. Who do you consider? Okay, we got Bud, but like you say, he's teasing with retirement.
You know what happens next because they already interviewed. They interviewed Bronze Bomber. Why am I blanking on his name again? And he said he wants to fight 3-4 more years. I didn't realize he was already 38. I didn't realize he was that old.
Yeah, he old.
Yeah, but he already says he wants to fight 3-4 more years. So you gonna get that fight with you might get that fight with Anthony Joshua 5 years too late. So
But nobody wants to see that. That'll be on the afternoon in England or something like that. Nobody's watching.
But if they're gonna pay right, now he's gonna fly across. Now he's going over there because he don't care about his record.
They dropped the ball with Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua should have been kept special before. Look, you don't put him in there in a fight he can lose before you put him in the big money fight.
That was his problem. He shouldn't have lost to Ruiz. It was Anthony Ruiz, right?
Yeah, he got clipped.
That was his fault.
But you knew Ruiz. If you look at the matchup, Ruiz was always a guy who can sneak you, going all the way back years.
But the problem is, if you go to the cards over there, he's going to win. So all he had to do was not get knocked out. I mean, it sounds easier than it was.
He didn't come in shape.
He played around with him. So
yeah, and he had COVID. Give him that track too. He did come off COVID, so I give him a little grace on that. Anyway, but yeah, boxing. It was a good weekend for boxing. Entertaining. Great job to Bud get the win. Dana White was happy. Said we're going to do some big things with him. So clearly they don't want him to go. But I thought Max Kellerman was good. I thought Max got a little long-winded on the interview post-fight, though. I don't think he lost his train of thought a couple times. We ain't seen Max in a while, so he's a little rusty. But good looking on the next time. Hopefully, you know what I mean, this thing takes off because we need more big-time boxing fights. But they need to put, Shakur lost. I'm trying to think. Like,
technically, you didn't lose. Technically.
Well, come on. You saw it.
He's undefeated.
You saw it.
He undefeated.
Devin Haney. Yeah. What we gonna do there? Yeah. So, yeah.
You got Boots Ennis got a fight coming up. Keith Thurman got a fight coming up.
Keith Thurman 5 years past his prime.
10 years late. Yeah, come on. Keith would have been great maybe 2018. Now, that's when PBC was hot. Keith was the man. But yeah, most of the guys his contemporaries are now announcing in the booth. Like they all gone. You know what I mean? Keep holding on for a check. Unfortunately, he never made that money because he couldn't win the big ones. Oh well. And we still haven't seen after Bud dispatched your boy, he ain't come back yet.
He's supposed to be fighting early next year. I did see that. He's supposed to be fighting. I forgot. I gotta look it up. He's supposed to be fighting somebody like decent. Like
hopefully he can recover, man. That man failed in his hometown. Sorry. Anyway, let's move on to the NFL. We got a lot to cover. Let's keep it moving. So look, a lot of injuries in the NFL right now, and we're going to dive into it. It was a big week. I thought it was an interesting week in the NFL, to be honest with you. We saw a lot of things go down where it could change the trajectory of some of these teams.
Charlo.
Yeah.
Supposed to be fighting Jamel. That's what.
Jamel.
Yeah.
That ain't bad. Where they go? Did they say where? Is it DC or Texas?
They hadn't said yet.
It'll be interesting. So the big injury of the week that came out, Joe Burrow turned his toe, maybe got a turf toe of some sort. They need to rename that. Going to be out for 3 months. Going to have surgery. A lot of talk about will he be ready at the end of the season? Will the Bengals still be in contention? Justin, what was your thoughts when you saw that Joe Burrow went down? Your thoughts on the outlook of the Bengals without him at the helm?
They're gonna have to pack. They're gonna have to rely on their total team. They're gonna have to rely on Chase Brown. They're gonna have to rely on the other Chase, Jamal Chase. You're gonna have to rely on T. Higgins. They're gonna have to rely on a lot of guys.
Yeah,
Brown is an okay quarterback. He's not. It's not his first time, right? So he's kind of used to filling in for Joe Burrow being injured. But This is why this is why they put so much importance on starting off hot, or at least as hot as you can. Because had this been any other year, they would have been 0-2, and let's say this happens, the season's done. It's over. You know, so the fact that you at least got 2, technically you're top of your division. Technically, we all know they're not the same as the Ravens. Ravens is probably the best team out there, but at the end of the day, you are on top. And so you have at least 1 or 2 games to kind of let go and then just stay in the hunt until Joe Burrow comes back. Joe Burrow's coming back in December. You still have about 4 games left so he can actually get back into shape and actually play in
best
the
case scenario.
So,
yeah,
that is best case scenario. If you don't return sooner, so it's not the end of the world, but they really gonna have to. I don't know. People are talking about trading for Jameis Winston. That's not the worst idea, because you know the least Jameis going to do is throw that thing in the air, Paul. Like he's going to air it out. So you know they just want to weather the storm. It's a huge storm for them, but I think it could be done enough to at least stay around 500.
What you think, Calvin?
It's crazy that we got arguably the best 2 wide receivers playing this week, playing with backup quarterbacks. You know, that's not the matchup you want to see. But you know, with Cincinnati, like, look, you had a chance to upgrade your offensive line year after year after year, and this is what happens when you don't. You have your quarterback take seemingly a small injury. Now he's out for 3 months with his turf toe.
Go ahead. I get so pissed off. Why is that on the offensive line? He's injury prone. At some point, something always happens to this guy. He did not take an unusual hit. Quarterbacks get hit every week. Come on, man.
So look, he's had 3 major injuries. I believe this is the 3rd one, right?
All different.
He tore his ACL. He had
the wrist,
the elbow, wrist, whatever it was, and then this. And that's
3 different body parts. Like,
but I mean, I guess my point is, if you saying he injury prone, people can say the same thing about Lamar back-to-back years. Like, I don't think that there's.
But Lamar injured the similar body part is what I'm saying. If it was the same, like, oh, he hurt his knee and he hurt his knee again. You know, if it go once, it's liable to go again. But you hurt your toe, your arm, your knee. Like, come on.
But can we agree that? I think he's been sacked. I think it was sacked or he was hit like 15 times in 2 games, something like that. And that's count knocked to the ground. And who did you play? You played
Jacksonville.
You played Jacksonville, and your first week, you know, it's not like
the Cleveland Browns was rocking.
Not like you're playing some of the best defenses.
Was hunting though. The Cleveland's defense ain't no joke. Well, anyway, I just think at the end of the day, you do have to start looking at maybe a better insurance policy. I know Brown is a professional football player. He's done it before, but at some point, you just paid this man a lot of money. Like, the guy got to be available, man. He got to be available at some point.
Look, we saw the same thing with Carson Palmer, though. So why are we expecting any difference with the system? It's organization. It's Cincinnati Bengals in general.
I just think I don't think that's fair, man. I really don't. But okay, that's your opinion. We got a lot of injuries happening around the league. I mean, this was a hell of a week. Jaden Daniels went down. That is word that he might be coming back pretty soon. We'll see, but he had a knee injury. Brock Purdy, we don't know how long he's going to be out. He left the game on Sunday.
He on IR.
Yeah, so we don't know how long he'll be out. Concussion protocol for quarterback for the Jets, Justin Fields. So, you know, concussions, you never know, you know, how long that will last. J.J. McCarthy, they put him on IR. I think he's out maybe 4 weeks. So that's an interesting situation in Minnesota. He got racked up at the end of the game after he played like straight garbage. His running back, same situation. Like Aaron Jones Sr. is now racked up as well. You lose your quarterback and your running back in the same game, which is unfortunate. We know about the tight end
George Kittle.
George Kittle. But the news came out that he might be a little longer than they initially expect. Khalil Mack today got put on IR, so he's out. So
he got torn tricep.
No, what happened to Khalil? His elbow or something? Did something like
They just announced today he going on injury reserve. So he missed the last game, and they thought he might be able to rehab it. But no, he might require surgery. You got Jaden Reed for the Packers.
He had 2
Good
surgeries.
God.
Yeah.
Did you see the hit? His clavicle, his shoulder, like his shoulder and everything.
He was dealing with a foot injury, and they said, "Well, shit, if you gonna be out, you might
give him both
well get the foot done."
Austin Eckler, he's done.
His career is over.
Yeah, I think that's ACL. I think he's
that was
Achilles.
It's Achilles.
Yeah, Achilles.
Yeah, that's 35-year-old running back. That's it.
Now, Kyle Van Noy, we don't know the severity, but we mess with an older player and a groin, or you never know.
No hamstring.
Hamstring. Kyle Hamilton.
About the same.
Not Kyle Hamilton. Marlon Humphreys was the groin, but I heard he might be back Monday night.
They said that wasn't bad. Yeah.
And then the Bucks.
Kalijah Cansey tore his pectoral, so he's gone for the season.
Done for the year as well. Golly, man, like that's week 2. Like, bro, like week 2. Like, what can you say, Calvin? Your thoughts?
Man, it's a rough week, especially when you got star players or especially quarterbacks and receivers that just your offensive weapons. I don't know. It all seems to focus on specific teams. Minnesota, your quarterback, your running back. San Francisco, your quarterback, your tight end. Like it's teams that already is just beat up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's early. It's still early. Now, do you want to attribute this to not playing the preseason, to not getting your body ready for the strenuous regular season? That's a whole nother conversation. But it's just a ton of injuries right now. And this is where you lose seasons, when you lose key players for extended periods of time, and then when they come back, you're already 4 or 5 games back, and then you start to think about next year.
And these are just the major names. I could have added, like the Miami Dolphins. I think have their team on the list. And that might be quitting. I don't know. But it's not looking good.
Buffalo missing 2 defensive linemen going into the Thursday game. So
play big.
We also lost a right tackle for a few weeks too.
Wow.
It's
he's gonna be out.
Yeah, he's gonna be out for a little bit. It's survive. So what is survive in advance? That's just what it is. That's football, babe. That's just
on to the next.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? Yeah. All right, so let's get into this last week's schedule and review some of these matchups. I mean, it was an interesting week. I will say that far as predicting winners, I didn't think nothing like jumped off the page as a shocker, other than maybe the Indianapolis Colts, and the way that game ended. We'll talk about that.
That was shaky.
Yeah, we'll talk about how that game ended in a minute. But the fact that it was even that close was interesting as well. But let's take it a little bit more piece by piece. So, look, the NFL is always king, but on this show, the Ravens is king. So we got to start in Baltimore. The Ravens defeated the Cleveland Browns 41-17 M&T Bank Stadium on Sunday. Lamar Jackson threw for 4 touchdowns. Derrick Henry was held in check pretty much all day. That Cleveland defense in 2 games last year, I think Henry averaged like 40 yards or under 50 yards for the season. So clearly Cleveland does a very good job of protecting the run when they go up against Derrick Henry, and give them credit, man. I will not disrespect what that defensive unit represents. This is the team that I picked last year to make the playoffs because on the strength of that defense, and for the most part, they did that job on Sunday. In the first half, they frustrated the Ravens. They made the Ravens play uncharacteristic. The Ravens love to run the football. They could not run the football. They made them one-dimensional. And once they made them one-dimensional, Lamar Jackson stepped up. Give Lamar Jackson credit for making some big-time plays with the football. And he wasn't just hitting his conventional. Yeah, Zay had good catches, but there was no big Mark Andrews game. That was not a big, there was no Isaiah Likely out there. He was hitting his 3rd and 4th receivers for scores. And give him credit for going to those options. Once the run game was getting shut down, they went to the alternatives. The defense forced some turnovers, forced 2 big turnovers on Sunday. Joe Flacco was liable to throw you 1 or 2, but give the Ravens resilient defense and offense credit because they started rough. It started shaky, You get down at the 1 yard line, at the half-yard line, after a big catch by DeAndre Hopkins, and you can't punch it in from the half-yard line.
Should have been a touchdown.
You can't punch it in. It should have been a touchdown, but at the end of the day, you still should have got a touchdown on that drive. But Ravens recovered, and it was a defense that sparked them. Remember, it was 0-0 for the most part, and then that big interception by Nate Wiggins runs it all the way back inside the red zone, and the Ravens were able to capitalize, and they kind of like sprung them for the day. But overall, a solid performance, nothing to brag about. You beat Joe Flacco. But defensively, Cleveland is no slouch, and the Ravens hung 41 on them. Back-to-back weeks scoring 40 points. Hey, that I don't take those things lightly. Calvin, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, it never seemed like the team got clicking and they still put up 41 points, which I think is very dangerous. Like, you go back and look at that game, you could just look at drives where they could have scored a touchdown versus getting 3, or even gotten 3 versus not scoring, and they still put up 41 points, which is really scary. The defense played well as a whole, in my opinion. The linebacking crew, led by Roquan, played phenomenal. Roquan was in the hole before the linebackers on numerous plays. And
in the hole. Yo, Roquan Smith played the best. Yeah. I've never seen him play that good. Yeah. Like, I mean, it was phenomenal.
And look, I'm sorry. Shout out to, is it Buchanan or Buchanan?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Everywhere you saw Rowe, you saw him right behind him. Like, I don't know if they just saw the same things on some of those run plays, but they were right there meeting whatever running back at the line of scrimmage, making tackles for loss. Roquan even had a touchdown. That may be your new linebacking crew. Those two guys in the middle. I think he's a rookie or he's a first year player. I don't remember which one it is.
I'm not.
But he's young, and he's the chemistry he had with Rowe, just the things that they see together, phenomenal. Give credit to their defense. Give credit to those defensive backs. Look, when you do not mention someone's name, they're either playing really good or really bad. We have not mentioned Malachi Starks, and he's been playing center field on a lot of passes,
had an interception,
and he has not let a pass get behind him yet.
No, he has not.
In 2 games. Now, you can say they look who they played, but when you're down, you're throwing the ball, that gives you more opportunities to have something go over the top of your head. Malachi Starks has played well his first 2 games. He's been the last line of defense, letting Hamilton kind of freelance. You saw on the screen pass where I think they blitzed the linebacker, and Hamilton was right there to meet the running back at the line of scrimmage. That's done because Malachi Starks is playing deep, and they trust him in that backfield. In the back of the defense. So I give credit to those defensive backs. They had a way better game than last week. I'm not saying that's because Jai wasn't there. I'm just saying he has to get healthy, and then he'll probably play a bigger part this week, especially if Marlon is not healthy. But on offense. And I didn't realize it. I went back and watched the Buffalo game, at least the first 40 minutes. I didn't realize they're actually playing Wallace more than Hopkins, regularly. I just thought it was just this game. But my guy Twan pointed this out, Tylan Wallace is playing a lot more than Hopkins. It's just Hopkins catching those big passes. Every time you see Hopkins, he catches a touchdown. I heard why.
They remember how they did Derrick Henry last year?
They trying to save him.
That's how they doing him this year. They figure, use him. He's going to be there. He's going to be there when you need him. Clearly, the man catches everything. Yeah, but you know what I mean?
No separation, but he'll catch everything.
He catches everything.
And shout out to Tez Walker. All he does is catch touchdown passes. He gets open to catch touchdown passes.
Big time.
2 on Sunday. Lamar looks for him. Look, it was a complete game, but you can look at that game and still say the Ravens did not play their best. But they still put up 41 points, which I think is scary for the rest of the league.
You can look at that game and say the Browns scored 7 points at the end of the game in garbage time, and their other touchdown they scored.
It was also an interception.
How do you drop that? Like what?
So you saying 41-3 is
like, that's ridiculous. Go ahead, Justin.
No, I mean what you finally saw was the defense basically clicking on all cylinders. The defensive line they won the battle of the trenches.
Give them credit too. Yeah.
So that allowed Roquan to actually basically free roam, and he almost reminded you of Ray Lewis for a hot second, because he was all over the field, and that allowed the secondary to do what they were supposed to do. It's a lot easier when you know that Joe Flacco is going to be right there. He's going to have a circle, a radius of 2 yards.
Joe Flacco and
Josh Allen, right?
Yeah,
I'm not making any excuses. It's just it's easier. It's just is what it is. You just got to make sure you get to him, and that's what they did. They hassled him. He didn't have a great homecoming coming back to Baltimore. It was absolutely god awful for him. Shout out to Jerry Jeudy. You talked all that stuff. Guess what? You didn't do anything either. So these are the times you're supposed to step up, and they didn't. And like I say, Calvin, you mentioned the boy Wallace. The Wallace is the one that I think changed the game based off just his awareness. He's the one that picked up that fumble that Derrick Henry put on the ground.
Yes.
And then he turned around and scored. That was the exhale that y'all need to say, like, yo, we about to smash this team. We about to dog walk this team. And it was because of his awareness. So shout out to him as well. So yeah, I mean, Cleveland had nothing for y'all, man. It is what it is. The defense played hard, but if they're not scoring, it's just a matter of time. So y'all defense, besides Lamar had probably one good drive that whole game, because he didn't have to have long drives, because the defense and the special teams would put y'all in a position where he only had to go 30 yards to score, and he did it. So he did what he's supposed to do. Y'all just did what you did what you're supposed to do, and y'all did
win that game
greatly. And it just helped out Lamar Jackson. He's on another MVP run, and he got another 4 touchdowns to add to it. Shout out to him.
It's crazy. I mean, you're going to look up and you're going to look at his stats again like, damn, when that happened? You know what I mean? Like, that's how it happens. You know what I mean? No turnovers, and you just churn it up. But I will say, and piggybacking off of 2 things that you did say, when you look at the schedule and you try to, you're not going to play Josh Allen every week. You know what I mean? So, you scored a lot of points last week. You gave up a lot of points in an uncharacteristic.
Very uncharacteristic.
Uncharacteristic.
So much that it freezes you up. Like that was crazy.
Shocking.
That was the look he had when they actually came back and won. He looked just like that.
I don't want to move on, but I do have a Tampa Bay Bucks question specifically for you. I know we're gonna get to him at some point, but until he comes back, I'll ask you this question: Is Baker the 5th best quarterback in the league?
I told you top 5. I've been telling you top 5 all goddamn.
It's a.
All right, I'm back. Let's get back on the. Let's get back. We can talk about that later. I don't know what's going on with the internet around here tonight, guys. I'm sorry. It's not nothing with the program. It's the Wi-Fi. I don't know. It was a storm. I don't know what's happening. But anyway, here we go. Next up, the Dallas Cowboys defeated the New York Football Giants 40-37. A very, very, very interesting ball game. I mean, if you watch this game, I mean, it was nip and tuck, that back and forward. The Giants had no business losing this game down the stretch, but then Russ turned into Russ. I mean, they let Russ cook. They let him cook, all right. Justin.
He burnt this shit.
He burnt everything. But if you cannot draw up a better ending for a kicker who's he is the best kicker in the league right now. I mean, I think last year was like his coming out, and then this year he's solidified it already. That kick to get him, I mean, he was just phenomenal, man. To get him to overtime and then to win the game, like phenomenal stuff. Dak played a solid game. I give Dak credit. He wasn't solid. He was fantastic. I played him in fantasy this week. I had him in fantasy this week. So, he gave and he took. You know what I mean? I give him credit. Like, look, great job, Jamal. Look,
speaking of fantasy.
We're going to talk about that. Don't worry. There's a segment. So, Calvin, you the resident Cowboy fan. We always start with our teams. What's your thoughts on this game?
I've never seen a team that plays to have their kicker kick a 60-yard field goal to win the game. Like, it was not like we're trying to get closer. It was we're trying to get him in his spot and he's 60 yards away. Mm-hmm. But like you said, Russ going Russ. This is a game. This was a high-scoring game, up and down affair. And like I said earlier, I think the Cowboys, at least offensively, will be Cincinnati West. They will put up points. They won't be able to stop anybody, though. And I didn't think New York would be able to put up these points with Russell Wilson at quarterback. Russ had a resurgence. He threw some of them moon balls to Malik Neighbors, and the defense just gave them whatever they wanted. But to be able to have that luxury to play for a 60-yard field goal to win, there is no other team in the league that can say that. This is a great win by Dallas at home. This is a great win to keep them out of the basement of the NFC East, and basically probably one game closer to seeing Russ get benched. Because that interception in overtime to allow them was a shot that didn't need to be taken. But when you're in that position, you got to make plays. Sometimes you force it, and if you force it, sometimes it just turns into shit, and that's what happened.
Yeah, you can force it, but at least make it where like the receiver has a chance. Like that was
no chance. I don't know where you're throwing to.
What's your thoughts about them going out and getting Jadeveon Clowney this week?
It was surprising, and I really think they outbid the Ravens because the Ravens also restructured Roquan to get some cap space, and you had to figure that was for a defensive lineman. I think they just outpaid the Ravens. I don't really see them. He's not going to replace Micah. He's not even going to give you half what Micah could do. Maybe he's better against the run, but it still doesn't solve your problem getting to the quarterback as a whole. It's just a Band-Aid on a short situation. But if you think you have playoff aspirations, can he help you get one more game to get you close to the playoffs? Yes, but it doesn't fix the problem that you have on defense.
Justin, what was your thoughts on this game?
You saw Malik Neighbors. I think he was the main reason why they won. I know Russell gets all the love because he was throwing it and he was airing it out, but Malik Neighbors with 9 catches and over 150, 160 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like, that's called putting everybody on notice, saying, like, look, I might be the best product out of LSU. So shout out to him. Then Russ went Russ, and then he threw the interception. But at the end of the day, Dak didn't panic. Dak stayed the course. Javonte Williams was running his ass off. So shout out to Javonte. Dallas just played. They played enough when the other team was just hot. They was in position for a lot of some of those deep balls. It's just Russ was. They didn't expect Russ. Russ didn't even expect Russ to throw the ball like that. So Sierra didn't expect Russ to throw the ball like that. No one expected Russ to throw the ball like that. So yeah, I think it caught him off guard more than anything. So we'll see what happens in game 2 when they play each other again. But and that's if Russ is still quarterbacking. But even when Russ was hot, did y'all notice Jason Dart came in and ran a few plays? Like, why the hell was he even in the game? Like, that's the type of stuff that's on coaching. Like, that was before the interception. Like, Russ was don't you dare take Russ out. You keep putting points on the board. They could have scored him maybe one or two of those plays. So you have to be cautious and stuff like that. So some of this blame go to the coach as well. That he wasn't doing the best coaching at the end of the day. So that Dallas survived. I mean, they got a hell of a kick. They was walking off the field before he even kicked the goddamn ball. That is the utmost confidence in your kicker. So shout out to their kicker, man. Dallas, Calvin, are you on or off? Pause to that. What are you? Are you a Cowboy fan? Are you a Packer fan or a Cowboy fan? Don't let this thing go further than the Packers.
Go Pack, go.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. Okay. And then watch. See, I've been here before. See, I don't think you was on the show at this point. It was about 2 years ago, Justin. Me and Calvin was doing LNC Lock Show. Yeah. He was off about the Cowboys. He's like, I'm done with them. I can't do it. About 8 weeks in, Cowboys hell of a record. All of a sudden, he took off his little whatever he had on. And
it was a jersey underneath of it.
I was going to say we're not going to get that story.
Am I back?
You're looking like Russ. You're coming in and you stop.
I don't know what's going on. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. It's one of those nights, man. I don't know. The internet is just not being my friend tonight. But anyway, let's keep it moving. Justin, tell us about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What a win. The Buccaneers defeated the Houston Texans 20-19. I mean, look, I'll start. Baker Mayfield, man. Give Baker credit. Give Baker credit because this game was over. This game should have been over. But Baker got the ball, and on 4th down, he made a scramble and ran for a big time first down, picked it up with his legs, and that was the difference in the ball game, man. Yeah. That was the difference in the ball game, and they were able to get a big kick to walk it off as well. Big time win for the Tampa.
They scored a touchdown.
We scored.
They did score a touchdown. You're right. You needed a touchdown. That's right. You needed a touchdown. Mm-hmm. Your thoughts on this one, Justin?
So I'm gonna start with Houston first. This is what I was saying, and I just didn't expect the other teams in the division to be as hot as they are. But I just felt like CJ wasn't going to have the same exact season as he had the 2 years before. I thought that he was going to come back to earth a little bit, and that's what's happening. I think that he's under the gun. I think he's pressing a lot. He missed a lot of receivers last night, Monday night. He missed a lot of guys that he normally would hit. And he was getting pressure too. So I'm not taking anything for Tampa Bay, but CJ wasn't the difference maker. And because you didn't have a difference maker, when you face a team that is without their 2 starting tackles, without 2 of their starting wide receivers, out their wide receiver core, they managed to win the game. And that's just on the strength of Baker Mayfield. And I'm not before I go my soliloquy on Baker. Tampa Bay special teams, we absolutely god awful. We missed the field goal. The punt return was we gave up yards. We gave up yards on kick return. Like our special teams, we really need to nip that in the bud before that really bites us in the ass. And almost did it Monday night, but Baker's on the headline now, right? Everyone, it was a Monday night game. Everyone says Baker this, Baker that. And all I was saying was Baker was top 5 the whole entire time. And all he's doing is proving it. What you saw in that drive was the prime example of shake and bake. In the eyes of despair, never fear. Baker Mayfield is here. That's how the team feels. So
I thought Bucky Irvin was the best player on the field.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But Bucky, but now I'm gonna give Bucky his shine because he was struggling running the rock. It wasn't the best night for him. However, on that last drive when he needed to make some plays, he gave homeboy that dead leg and kept it moving, bouncing off tackles. And Rachaad White managed to push it through pass. It was just a great team victory in which we just gonna have to just count this victory and we move on and face the Jets next. So we survived as much as we could. We got injuries along the way. We got another big injury in that game. So we're not the healthiest team. We're still missing Tristan Wirfs, which is our all-pro left tackle. Like we're missing guys, but you just try to win the games that's in front of you. So hopefully when they come back, we can actually take a spark and not fall back. So, good solid win.
So from Texas perspective, I realize we're comparing CJ to 2 years ago, and I was doing the same thing. When I went back and looked at it, I mean, they went 10-7. I thought for some reason that they just blew everyone out the water, and they were 11-12 games. So I think the regression is really
played better though.
Correct, he did, but I think the regression is more so on the offensive line, and I think there must be some truth to those shoulder injuries that he's had over the offseason. He really wasn't able to throw, so on and so forth. So, he had all these weapons last year. They gave him Stephon Diggs. Tank Dell was in the second year. Now both of them are gone. Tank Dell's injured. Stephon Diggs in New England. So I think he needs to get back, get that running game back, and get the offensive line again, and just be able to have pressure and have confidence to stay in the pocket and throw. When Baker's in,
back this week too. They haven't had him yet.
Yeah. On Baker's in, Christian Kirk. Baker, he's to win that game against that defensive line. Maybe has top 5 ends without your 2 tackles, says a lot. I'll give him credit for that. And I was mentioning to Justin one of the times when you were frozen that is he a top 5 quarterback? Because they have this stat on CBS.com where they're comparing him to the big 4 and since he's been in Tampa with and how he's first in pass yards, he's first in touchdowns, he's second in completion percentage, third in rating, and I think 4th in record since he's been in Tampa. So the last 2 years and 2 games. So Is he the best quarterback in the NFC? Is he a top 5 quarterback? I don't have him above those 4, but I think he at least warrants now being in the conversation, and I'll say that.
The problem is, honestly, and I think we probably gonna hit on this pause a little bit later. It's just Jalen Hurts is just not a top 5 quarterback. He's a great player.
Oh, really?
He's a great player.
I never said he was. I ain't disagreeing with you.
I never said he was either.
When you win a Super Bowl, you got to give him his respect, right? He did.
Sure.
He got that. But it's a new season, and those first 2 games are duds. Extreme duds. So
the problem I have is
it is what it is, right? So what I'm saying is that it creates a opening, a gap. There's room for that 5th spot if he's not taking that spot, because the other 4 are over there in the AFC. And if you take Joe Burrow out, you can bump in Justin Herbert, and you still got 4 over there. Now the thing is, who's the 5th? And the 5th is like it's a shoot. Is it Jared Goff? Is it Baker Mayfield? Is it this? Is it that? Last year is it Sam Darnold? Is Baker's the one that's kind of standing tall through it all? So he gets that. So when I say top 5, it was actually some thought behind it. Like, it's just the NFC is just, they don't have superior.
I just don't agree, because at the end of the day, I can name. But part of the issue I have is we conflate, when it's convenient, the regular season and the postseason. But then when we try to make another point, we just focus on regular season numbers. Jalen Hurts still won the Super Bowl. He still had a phenomenal playoff run where he was Super Bowl MVP in the Super Bowl.
Who's the last quarterback to beat Jalen Hurts in the playoffs?
Patrick Mahomes?
Baker Mayfield.
Oh, okay. What that mean?
We combining playoffs and
no, I'm asking you. I made the point last week about Patrick Mahomes not being at his regular season best anymore, and he turns it on in the playoffs.
Right. So before we go back and forth with that one, I guess the caveat for that argument that we had was he doesn't have his full display of weaponry.
Okay.
The thing about Jalen Hurts is AJ Brown is still there. Devontae Smith is still there.
But he has Saquon Barkley, and I think that is
like that.
From a game plan perspective, they do prioritize Saquon's legs and Jalen Hurts' legs. If you watch them,
because they don't believe in him as much as a quarterback. If you take any of the 4 guys, any of the big 4, and plug them into Philadelphia, is there any reason they don't win at least 2 and maybe 3 in a row? I mean, outside of health, what stops them?
But what's stopping them now? Like they
only won 1.
They won last year.
They won 1 off the.
They had 1 year with Saquon.
And defense is Saquon.
They had 1 year with Saquon, and they won 1 Super Bowl. Until we see them falter in the playoffs, you can't say that somebody would 100% be able to win.
So what you're saying is they don't falter with they don't fault. They only falter when they don't have Saquon. So it's not Jalen Hurts.
I say it's a combination of why don't they rely on him solely? It's because you have that guy in the backfield where your game plan shouldn't be just pass when you got Saquon back there. That's the whole point.
The thing is,
not issue with Lamar and Derrick Henry.
Both of you are correct. Larry, you're 100% correct. If I got Saquon Barkley, I might as well focus on him. But let's bring up the Ravens, right? I'm going to focus on Derrick Henry. Even when Derrick Henry goes off, Lamar will still have a 30-yard bomb to somebody. Lamar will still show the strength of his arm on certain plays. That's what we want out of Jalen. Jalen, can you get AJ Brown at least maybe 100 yards? Just 99 yards works for us. Just something. Whereas though we can say like, okay, I do have to somewhat fear the threat of the pass. Teams aren't fearing any threat of the other pass.
But I think they are. I think that's the point, though, because they expect it. Well, they can't just keep running it. They got to pass it to them.
They're going to keep running. Look, they try to get all they try to do is get the 4. They try to get 9 yards on 3 downs. And they do a touch push for 4. That's all they do now.
That is a philosophy. I mean, we get off topic, but what I'm saying is that is a philosophy, that concerted effort that they made when they got Saquon. That, look, we're not about stats. We're about winning. And it's worked for them. So I can't disagree with that. When you go to top 5 quarterback, if you're going to discredit his Super Bowl and say he's not great after – we just had this discussion months ago when people said, oh, you got to put Jalen Hurts up there.
You're saying,
Jalen Hurts got to be up there.
Jalen Hurts is the best quarterback in the NFC?
I mean, he's the champion. I ain't saying he's the best, but I think he's the champion.
No. You got to say yes or no. Like, don't
gotta say yes or no.
Have an opinion. Have the courage and conviction to stand on your opinion. Is he the best quarterback in the NFC?
He's the reigning champion. He played the best in this playoffs.
He's still in the
and he won a Super Bowl.
That sounds like you don't answer the question, you freeze.
That's why you don't answer the question, right? You freeze. So I agree with that.
Why are you wiping your nose? Look like you on that booger sugar.
He definitely look like he's on some type of knockout.
Like, am I froze again?
You froze for you was like this in mid freeze, like get those. You was like that, like you was sniffing something. You took a quick bump. That's what it is. It just caught you. You got caught.
Guys, I'm trying. I don't know what it is, but no, I think Dak might be better than Baker Mayfield. Call me crazy. Dak's had a longer, more consistent career. I mean, that when Dak is healthy, when has he had better stats? Like
two seasons ago, Dak was then in the MVP. So that
I'm just saying,
I can't hold that against you, Paul. Like that's accurate. The problem is that it's up for grabs. The fifth spot is up for grabs. It's just it is what it is.
Anyway, let's keep moving. Next game. Speaking of Philadelphia, they defeated the Kansas City Chiefs 20-17. Actually winning because they game plan to win. They have a thing that's unstoppable in the tush push. Is a bona fide fact. They won them a Super Bowl. Everybody knows it's coming. They can't stop it. So why wouldn't you keep doing it? I am sick and tired of people trying to outlaw this or make this a look. It's football. The goal is to get a first down in 4 chances. Like, you don't have to punt it on 4th down. You can do what you got to do the first 3 downs to get close enough. That way on 4th down, if I feel like I'm within an inch of a couple yards or a yard or 2, hey, y'all can't stop it. And if you got the manpower to do it, do it. We saw it all last year. We saw it the year before. Teams have had plenty enough time to game plan for it. But if you think this game came down to simply the touch push, you weren't paying attention. The Kansas City Chiefs simply were not prepared to beat the Philadelphia Eagles. You can say, oh, he ain't got his receivers. You can say all that. And I would maybe agree with you. How about alter your game plan? Run the football. How about change some things up?
They suck. Their running backs suck.
Pacheco was one of the
he will move 100 miles per hour and go nowhere.
Mahomes was running all over the field. I mean, he was mobile.
Best running back. He's their best weapon.
He was running, but it wasn't enough. He missed a wide open guy. 2 plays later, he hits the guy.
Travis Kelce missed a wide open catch.
Hell of a drop by Kelce. Clearly, he's falling off the cliff. But at the end of the day, the Eagles are a better team than the Chiefs. They proved it in the playoffs, in the Super Bowl, and they showed it again on Sunday. I don't care if it was 3 points. I don't care if it was 1 point. A win is a win.
Yeah. A win is a win.
My question is, do we have a problem with
his Wi-Fi?
Well, besides that, how they line up for the touch push where it's not consistently called as offsides? Because it looks like from every angle it's offsides, but they're able to lean over the ball.
They move before the ball snap. That's a fact. That's just a fact. It's hard to see. What you need is a standout of defensive tackle. That's what you need. And I say that to say they tried to touch push against us when we played them.
I was going to say Vita Vea.
And we stopped it because of Vita Vea. You just need that 300+ pound dude to say, I'm just not moving. And then that does make a difference. It's just not every team has that. So if you do not have that, then you're gonna get pushed back.
Yeah,
so
I guess like when you look at replays, you look at it in slow motion, you see the advance or the advantages they get, and it just seems as though if that's consistent on every play, it's not called, and I'm able to get an advantage where I'm able to be over the ball more, or I'm able to kind of lean across the line of scrimmage a little bit more. And you get that consistently offered for a play that's already unguardable, then I'm not saying we should outlaw the play. I'm just saying, why can't more teams do that? And is it you don't want to put your quarterback at risk because the Ravens have a formation where they use Mark Andrews.
They use Mark Andrews, yeah.
Correct. So you don't want to put your quarterback at risk because you don't feel as though your offensive line could get the same advantage as it feels though. I mean, you got Derrick Henry. I feel like he can push anybody as well, just as good as Saquon. So to me, it's what's their competitive advantage?
I agree. If it's working, then just use it. I mean, you remember when the Wildcat, when they ushered in the Wildcat.
Miami. Yeah.
So they was doing it well, but then other teams was like, well, shit, we could have our own
Correct.
version of
it. So why has the tush push taking over like the Wildcat?
Because maybe like you said, they I don't know. They don't want to use their quarterback at play, but like you said, you can use anybody. You can use, like you say, Mark Andrews is the guy to do it. He can jump over the power. The Buffalo does it with Josh Allen. He pushes the power, or he might jump over. It's their version of a quarterback sneak in a sense. That's all it is. That's all it is a goddamn quarterback sneak. That's just what it is. So any team can do it. It's just they practice it, so they hone in on it. But like you said,
and they committed to it.
Do the same thing. The fuck?
Thoughts on the rest of the game? Thoughts on the rest of the game? Anything from the Chiefs that stood out to you?
Chiefs are really struggling offensively. When you're down to one of your starting 3 receivers, you're down to a tight end that's over the hill. You really have no run game. And we've seen a noticeable regression of Patrick Mahomes over the last 2 years. It's just that he turns on the playoffs, and we kind of, don't think about that during the regular season. But over the last 2 years, he has gotten worse. And I'm not saying he's all of a sudden he's the worst quarterback in the league or he's not top 3 or whatever, but will Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy make him to what we think he is when they come back? And I know there's been some frustration in the locker room with those receivers between injuries and suspension and all that, but week 7, week 8, this is a completely different team in my opinion, because now you're not relying on Travis Kelce to have 8 catches for 100 yards. If he gets 4 or 5 and gets a couple first downs, that's going to be what his role is now.
So I mean, the reason why someone like Rashee Rice is so important to this team, y'all remember the first game of the season last year, and I'm just saying because it's the Ravens, and y'all can really kind of go back into that game. They didn't have an answer for Rashee Rice. They didn't know who to put on him. He was killing the middle of the field, and that's usually what Travis Kelce was doing. He took Travis Kelce's spot as being that number 1 target. As soon as I say hike, you're going to be open some kind of way. So he was on the trend of having 10 plus catches a game, and it was going to be easy for him. And then you had the one of the fastest players in the league, and he was just getting his feet wet last year because he was a rookie. So now you have season 2 of him, and he was supposed to take that next step of, you don't have an answer for him because I got the inside lot with Rashee Rice. He's going everywhere in the backfield, to the outside, to everywhere. That's what Xavier Worthy was going to do. They had plans. And because he got hurt and because the other suspension came, that shit was halted. It got halted quickly. So now you're dealing with Hollywood Brown, which was a goddamn cast off from Arizona, from y'all, from the Baltimore Ravens. So he was just a pickup. And then you have, who else you got? Juju. Juju was damn near a free agent. They got unwanted guys, and they're saying I need you to do those things. They can't do what the other guys are doing. So Patrick gonna have to just do whatever he can. They only lost by 3. He gonna have to do whatever he can to survive until he get those weapons back. But yeah, all the criticism is due. He has to play better, and he got to do better. That's just what it is, or else you're gonna be outside the playoffs.
I mean, he's still been called top 3. He top 3 quarterback in the league. Go play like it. You know what I mean? Go get it done. And he has throws there to be made, and he didn't make the throws. That's the problem I think that people are glossing over. Go back and watch the game. There were plays to be made that he did not make. He took sacks that he should not have taken. Some of the decision making.
Yeah, he in his head right now. Yeah. He in his head right now. He got him and Andy got to work that out.
He'll have a get right game next week.
But with that being said, they did play the Chargers and the Eagles. That is 2 pretty good.
Oh yeah, definitely. They'll bounce back. We all got to win that.
Schedule's going to hop back to that favor. So now if they start to lose to let's say the Raiders, they lose to the Raiders. I know they play them tough, but they lose to the Raiders and other teams that help. If they lose to the Giants, now it's like, homeboy, I can't even defend you no more, my guy. So they're gonna have to start winning some games.
Yeah. Next up, the Indianapolis Colts defeated the Denver Broncos 29-28. Look, we'll talk about Daniel Jones in a minute, but the end of this game came down to a leverage call. on a missed field goal, which gave the Colts a second chance to kick the game-winning field goal. Look, that's the rules. We've seen this call before. We can't act like that. That's not an NFL call that is made. They made the call. The Colts took advantage of that, and they capitalized, got a big victory. The story here should be Daniel Jones and the Indianapolis Colts have not punted yet. Have not punted yet in the 2025 NFL season, and they are 2-0 in the AFC South. That is phenomenal. I mean, they are scoring. Their defense isn't the best, but they made some plays against that Denver team that many people thought was vaunted. They made plays against that Denver defense that people said was the best in the league. Well, they didn't look the best on Sunday. The Colts looked like they were ready. They were running the football with Jonathan Taylor. They were passing the ball around the field with Daniel Jones is playing with confidence. Give the coaching staff credit having this team ready to play. Again, controversial call at the end of the game. Set that aside for a second. But before it got to that point, if you looked at this heading into the season, you looked at the schedule, you did not think this Indianapolis team with Daniel Jones will be not only competitive, but to get a win at home. The place was rocking. And a lot of people saying maybe this is like remember Jim Irsay said owner died in the offseason. Maybe it's just a good little omen for them to have a little run for a little while. Will it last? We don't know, but it was something to be seen. Justin, your thoughts?
Well, will it last? No, they can't. You know, I mean, they did have a turnover, so they do turn the ball over. They just haven't punted. But at the end of the day, they can't keep up at this clip. It is what it is. But I think it's more telling of the Giants organization. Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, you lose Saquon go to Philadelphia, win the rushing title, and win the damn Super Bowl. Like, you know, so was it Daniel Jones the whole time? Daniel Jones was making some whack plays, but was he pressured? Did he have somebody?
He was always athletic. He was always athletic.
What was it? So now that he's in the Colts, he's free. He's freer now. Is it the Colts coaching staff? Are they doing a better job? Anthony Richardson, why can't you shine like this? Like, what's going on? Why was he able to step in and do all this stuff and you can't? Like, did you not study your playbook? I don't know. I'm not going to go that route. But it's something to be said that they are playing freer now. When you have anybody in the NFL, any professional team, once you start having confidence, that's a whole different monster. This team is getting confidence. This team believes that they are just that good. And now you what is it, the AFC South? They got a problem. They have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. They are number one in the division, and I don't think they're going to relinquish it anytime soon. So shout out to the Colts, man. They playing with house money right now.
Can we ask the question everybody wants to know? What did Brian Daboll do in New York to hold Daniel Jones back? Because we've never seen him perform like this. Like, he almost deserved to be fired from the Giants just because of how good Daniel Jones is playing for the Colts. Like,
I can quickly help you with that. Until Malik Neighbors came last year, where was the talent?
This is the same Brian Daboll that helped create Josh Allen, so you couldn't duplicate that success. So, but yeah, I didn't expect the Colts to be this good. I mean, I thought Denver made their share of mistakes. I think they're putting the ball in the hands of Bo Nix a lot more than I expected. I expect them to run the ball a lot more, and they're kind of letting them
run the ball a lot more.
They're kind of letting Bo Nix throw. I mean, even I don't think even if you couldn't, I still expect you to give it more effort than putting the ball in the hands of Bo Nix. I don't think he's that quarterback yet. Maybe he will become that. He does have weapons on the outside, but I just didn't expect Bo Nix to lead this team this early on in this way. I thought it would be more bootlegs, more trying to, even if you can't run the ball, the threat of the run should open up for Bo Nix and him using his legs a little bit more, not just him kind of dropping back 5 or 7 step drop backs and just airing it out. I didn't expect that in this offense. Maybe they thought that Sean Payton thinks more of him than he really is. Maybe he's thinking he's, Drew Brees 2.0, but this offense kind of just, I didn't expect this early on from Denver.
I thought that when I say they couldn't, I think the problem was the Colts was scoring. So when the time started getting away, you had to try to be competitive.
I'm talking about throughout the whole game. Not just. No, I'm talking about throughout the whole game, not just.
They were running the ball. J.K. was
no.
running
I
the ball.
expect them to run the ball more. I think seemed like every pass for Bo Nix was him going downfield. Nothing kind of crossing routes. Nothing where he kind of does a bootleg or anything like that. It's them just throwing the ball downfield. That's just kind of. I didn't expect that from Bo Nix in his offense this early.
I know you at the game, so you probably weren't able to watch. But I was watching the game, and he was doing bootlegs the whole game. Like, that's what I thought. The play action pass was what was kind of clicking. This wasn't like a bad offensive performance by Denver. It was the defense. Like, let's talk about the real problem. I thought that actually Denver played well enough to win the game offensively. The defense was horrible. Like, you can't let the Colts score 29 points. I get the last field goal, but even the fact that they got in field goal range the way they did, like y'all put me the best defense in the league. Bow your back. Go ahead, Justin.
Sometimes it's hard to key in. Jonathan Taylor was playing lights out. He took that one pass and just ran. Like he was playing phenomenal. And it's hard to key in on their receiving core because they don't have any standout guys. They're all open. They're just find an open guy in a sense, right? So when it's like that, when you're that free, when you're that open, and you have your running back that's dominated, I mean, this is what happens. So it's hard. They couldn't get the pressure they wanted on Daniel Jones, and Daniel stood tall, man. This is a Colts victory. Don't matter the call at the end.
So my point is, Bo Nix is throwing the ball. He got 71 attempts in 2 games. It's more than Lamar, more than Patrick Mahomes, more than Dak, more than Jordan Love. Like, they just seem like they're throwing the ball more. I'm not saying they aren't running it, but I didn't expect that ratio to be where he's throwing the ball 35 times a game, and you played a Titans team, and you played a Colts team, which you were up and you controlled the line of scrimmage. You could have done more instead of relying on Bo Nix, unless you think he's that guy. Which
clearly they think he's that guy.
So if you think that, then okay, but I mean, this is a Sean Payton offense, but Sean Payton needs Drew Brees.
And get the ball to R.J. Harvey a lot more than what they're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. But again, Florida game, when you down, you got this is Sean Payton. This ain't no, you know what I mean? Like, Sean Payton going to air it out. That's just who he is. And that's him as a coach. You know what I mean? So, again, I just want to tip my hat to the Colts. I thought they did a phenomenal job putting a game plan together. And at the end of the day, if you are Bo Nix and you throwing the ball 30 times, you're an NFL quarterback. I mean, most NFL quarterbacks throw for 30 in a game. I mean, I don't think that's extraordinary. He had 3 touchdowns. Like, he wasn't terrible. It was the defense that was the problem there. You know what I mean? But again, I get what you on the rushing attempts. I agree with you on that. R.J. Harvey, a lot of people thought he was supposed to be this breakout rookie. Got 1 touch.
But even looking at their just last point, looking at their 2 of their drives, they're up 21-20. They go 3 and out. It's 3 pass plays. They Indianapolis punts. They get the ball back. They score in 7 plays, and they was 6 pass plays. Like, you can't tell me they go 9 out of 10 pass plays on 2 different drives. Like, with Bo Nix, I just don't see that. I just don't see that, at least right now. So
that's your team. Anyway, next up, Cincinnati Bengals defeated the Jacksonville Jaguars 31-27. We talked a little bit earlier about the injury, but the fact that the Bengals still was able to win this game after Jacksonville had this game in hand, give credit to that Cincinnati defense. They bowed their back. Sam Hubbard, who held out for a contract, he proved his. I mean, not Sam Hubbard. Hendrickson. He proved his worth with that big sack. He had 2 huge defensive plays late in that game. And look, everybody keep telling me, Jacksonville's they got the weapons. They're going to take that next step. You can't beat the Bengals.
They're going to score points. They ain't going to win. But
you can't beat the Bengals without that starting quarterback. And that offense wasn't even. Look, you let T. Higgins get loose on you. Like, some of these plays were utterly pathetic if you watch them in real time. That's not like man, just bad. What's your thoughts on this one, Calvin?
Look, Jacksonville, this is a game you got to win when you're playing your opponent's backup quarterback, and he still continues to score on your defense. You got to continue. You got to continue to score the ball. You got to continue to run the ball and control the clock. I'm go back to, was that a pass interference on Travis Hunter against, I think that was T. Higgins in the fourth?
Yeah, that was T.
I didn't think it looked clean to me. I only saw it a couple times. But I'm like, even if you don't get that call, you still got to come back. You can't let them score with their backup quarterback. I don't care what's going on. That team is down. That team has lost their leader, and you continue to let them score in the second half. That says a lot about Jacksonville. They're just not ready. Offensively, they may be, and I think they're still a step away. But defensively, they just have no killer instinct. And it's the same old team in Jacksonville. And it doesn't start with Trevor Lawrence because they've done nothing since he's been drafted. But he's been rewarded with the contract. He has weapons, and Brian Thomas Jr., who seems to be out of it mentally, I guess. I don't know what's going on with him these first 2 weeks. So
Brian Thomas looked like trash in that game. He looked like trash. Late in the fourth quarter, you go 4 and out, and he can't catch a 5-yard pass that was put right to him on 4th down. Come on, I'm sorry, man.
He's checked out. Trevor Lawrence is leading him into some big hits, and I think he's done. I think he's done. I think Liam Cohen, he chose the wrong year to come to this team. I think I saw it. Liam Cohen was trying to tell Trevor Lawrence something, and Trevor Lawrence waved his ass off. You don't do that to your coach, not your coach, especially your first year, your second game. Yo, what does that say to the rest of the team? Like, yo, I can't even take you serious. Like, Jacksonville is going to crumble under their own expectations, and they even have high expectations. It's a terrible franchise that's happening right now. That's developing. You can't blame Urban Meyer. You got Liam Cohen is a good. I'm telling you, he's a good coordinator. Like, he came from Tampa Bay last year. Like, he put us in spots. I was like, yo, he's making Baker look great this year. Like, he was doing some things. So I was just waiting for him to do something similar to Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is just not that guy. This team is just not that team. And like I said, now BTJ is just he's checked out. Like, yo, they got problems, and it's just going to get worse as the season goes on. So this is just a dumpster fire, man. You got to sell on Jacksonville now.
I mean, I've sold from the beginning.
Who bought on Jacksonville?
That is true. Not too many people did.
All right. Next up, the Green Bay Packers defeated the Washington football team Commanders last Thursday night. It was kind of a masterclass on defense, man. I thought this Packers defense was probably the best performance I've seen from the Packers defensively, man. Probably since they had the Smith boys back in like 21 or something like that.
Darius and Preston.
Not that far back. But back when they had the Smith boys in like 2021, when Aaron Rodgers was like probably on his last legs, but the defense was like keeping him in games and stuff like that. But man, they were all over Jaden Daniels' ass. I mean, it was like a hunt. Like, and Washington had no answer. Like, we saw like last week, what's his name? They got from San Francisco. Debo was able to get off. Not in this game. Like, it was like nothing worked. Like, nothing worked. Calvin, this year team, the Packers, they look like they Super Bowl bound to you.
Look, they at least look like they're going to be leading that North, the NFC North. But look at what they held Washington to. I think Washington's leading rusher was Jaden Daniels with under 20 yards. I think Jaden Daniels averaged like less than 5 yards per pass play. Like, it was just a masterclass on defense. They were able to score late to make it appear closer than it was. But overall, that Green Bay defense just dominated. And even on offense, was it Tyler Kraft, the tight end?
How did they let that man get wide open like that down the rail?
Caught a $120 for 6-7 catches. And look, and even Josh Jacobs had a decent game with a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
And even still, like, there was not Jordan Love, I think, threw the ball 28 times, maybe like that. It was a defensive masterclass. It was just them running the ball, controlling the clock, and they got whatever they wanted when they needed to. It just wasn't as close as it seemed. I think they kind of took their gas. They took the foot off the gas a little bit late because they easily could have been 27-10. They could have put up 30 if they wanted to, but they won the game on Thursday night at home, and they're 2-0.
Yeah, it was kind of boring at the Wild, but yeah, just consistent and dominant. Justin?
Yeah, so this goes, and I wanted to bring this up with the Ravens. I just don't understand. Sometimes you need a change of pace type of a guy, and Washington has it. They got rid of Brian Robinson Jr., because of the emergence of Bill Crosby merit. Like, he was supposed to be that guy. Give him the ball. Like, they wasn't giving him the ball at all. Screenplays, dump offs, and things like that. Like, just have a different change. Whereas though before Austin got hurt, it was just kind of featuring it like he's slow. They are keying in on you. You have to do misdirection. You have to do certain things like that when you have a stout pass rush like that to get them off their heels. And you have to do bubble screens and other things to get them going so they can back up, and then you can attack them. Like, I don't know why they didn't do that. I don't. They just kind of went real vanilla with their offense, and I'm like, yo, you have Debo who works in the screen area. That's his bread and butter. You got Bill over there, and I was like, yo, they should have just did that until Green Bay backed the hell up. They didn't. They tried. They I guess they put too much in Jaden Daniels' hand. Like, yo, you got Micah Parsons and the boys. They are keying in on him. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not it. So I think that was just bad offensive planning. It was a Thursday. Sometimes, you know how these Thursdays, if you're not prepared, like, yo, you're gonna get smashed, and it's gonna be nasty because it's like national TV on a Thursday game. So clearly the Packers was definitely prepared. Washington was not, and then even worse, they suffered an injury with Jaden Daniels to see how serious it is. So, Washington, you gotta do better, man.
Definitely. Next up, just we got it. Look, it wasn't close, but I give Detroit credit. At the week 1, we saw them against Green Bay. Everybody was ready to write them off, talk about, hey, see, this is why. But look, that's still big brother, and that is definitely little brother. They went out there and put foots in the Chicago Bears. Amon St. Brown had a phenomenal game. And Jared Goff played like Jared Goff. Phenomenal performances by the Detroit offense. The defense still was hunting. I think they sacked Caleb Williams again. I mean, they was all over this guy all night long. Justin, your thoughts on this one?
This was the classic. You have a struggle in week 1, right?
Get right game.
You know, and sometimes what they tell you, hey, sometimes you need to lose because you might be too much on your high horse. So now you got to listen to coaching and listen to all those things. Ben Johnson ain't here. You got to listen to whoever's there. You don't have it like that. Trust and believe. Y'all going to work. All that stuff they were saying, it was like, cool. Now you go against the person that put the architect of the offense in the next week, and you say, yo, we back. Like, we good. We good over here. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you right. Coach, you right. Coach, you right. You know, we ain't do what we're supposed to do. And now they just clicking on all cylinders. Amon-Ra, or where have you been? Like, geez, like, yo, they and now you worried about him. Now watch. Now you got worried about that Williams boy on the other end. He might take it the distance, and then that's just going to bring everybody back. And guess who's in the backfield? Jahmyr Gibbs is going to start eating more. It was needed for them to put on that type of offensive performance to let the NFC know, to let the league know, like, no, we still here. A lot of people doubt of us, Calvin, but we still here. And you definitely was down. You definitely said it.
I said they were going to lose the Green Bay week 1, which they did, and I still got making the playoffs.
Same with the coordinators they had. That's what you said.
And I said it would take time. I said it would take time.
It took week 2.
You're counting a win against Chicago as their back. Wait, hold on. A win against Chicago and their back, right?
They kicked their ass.
No. Okay, so they kicked Chicago's ass, so they're back, right?
They back.
You can say the same thing about the Ravens.
So you got them beating the Ravens on Monday.
See, that's a whole different situation now. Hold on now.
No, they're back. They're back. So you got them beating the Ravens on Monday.
Even they was back, the Ravens can still beat them at their best.
No, they're back. They're the class of NFC. They're the class of NFC. They're going to win the NFC North. They're back week 3, so they're going to beat the Ravens, right? Yes or no?
We gonna say that when we talk about it later.
No. Have your opinion right now. Get off the damn fence. They're gonna beat the Ravens. Yes or no?
Opinion. I would not spoil your said opinion until that statement comes.
Be it right here.
Let me make
on September 17th. We can't get him off the damn fence. He has no opinion on this.
Everybody has been. If you are better, everybody been calling this a $5,000 game because If you put the right parlay ticket together for this particular game again, no, think about it. I saw a couple of parlays because I hit a couple of these.
You talking about this game or
this
the
game.
Ravens game? Okay.
No, this game. If you took Jared Goff to get 200 yards passing and 2 touchdowns, Caleb Williams to get 200 yards passing and 2 touchdowns, DeAndre Swift to score a touchdown, Roma Zuzier to score a touchdown. If you took Jameer Gibbs to score a touchdown, David Montgomery to score a touchdown, Amar to score a touchdown, Jameson Williams, like every big name hit every parlay that they would traditionally. Even if you go down to receiving, Amar had over 100. Jameson had over 100. And typically, you ain't going to take them to get 100. You take them to get like 60. So, like, you cashed out on this game. Just bet this one game, this was a bettor's dream game here, dog. Every big name other than, I guess, DK Moore. I mean,
it was a Porter. He didn't score, right?
DJ Moore, I mean, that's it. Cole Kmet, maybe, but that's
did Porter score? Porter scored?
No, but again, would you have taken him to score? Maybe. No, he only had 25 yards receiving, but some people might have taken it. But this was, I've seen a lot of tickets, people saying they had big money on this game. But anyway, phenomenal from a Detroit. When Jared Goff bounced back with 5 touchdowns, ridiculous. We'll see what he do in Baltimore next week. Calvin, you haven't given your thoughts on this game.
Look, I contrary to what Justin said, I had Detroit in the playoffs. I have them bouncing back. I didn't think they would bounce back like this. No, but I still don't think they're better than Green Bay either. And I think, this is a team that has the potential to be 1-2 after facing a tough Ravens team on Monday night. It's a lot different when you try to have that kind of offense on the road at night in the bank versus in the confines of Detroit. That's all I'm saying.
Well, we could say that about Green Bay. That first 2 games was in Lambeau. Like, I see them travel.
We haven't seen one on the road yet, but I think they'll give a better performance. So
all right, we'll see. Just touching on this briefly, Seattle Seahawks defeated the Pittsburgh Steelers 31-17. As I said, what did I say last week? I said, look, guys, the Steelers are going to win week 1 against the Jets. And Aaron Rodgers is going to play well. Everybody's going to fall for this fool goal. They're going to say, oh, Aaron Rodgers is back. Yeah, I told you so. Da-da-da-da. You beat up on the Jets. Now you go and play a Seattle Seahawks team at home, mind you, in Pittsburgh, and you let them come in there and put foots in you. Sam Darnold could do anything he wanted to do. They were running the ball. I think they're still running on Pittsburgh right now. Like this, that was performance by the Pittsburgh Steelers. The kicker kicks the ball. The kick returner. Everybody knows the rules. They have emphasized the new rules.
That turned the game right there.
The entire offseason. And you just let the ball just lay there?
That turned the game right there. That made 2 scores. That was it right there. I mean, as good as Sam Darnold played, he also had 2 interceptions on the road in Pittsburgh, but it just proves that this Pittsburgh offense is going to be up and down all year long. You got to take the good with the bad. If you want to have a game like you had the previous week against the Giants, you want to have a game like this against a better Seattle team in which, Aaron Rodgers, less than 200 yards, 2 interceptions, can't really get the ball to your number 1 receiver in DK, who only had, 3 or 4 catches for like under 25 yards. Mm-hmm. You got to take the good with the bad with his offense, but it's not going to be a lot of good, I don't think so.
A bunch of check down Charlies. That's all it was. Aaron Rodgers with the dump offs all day. Dump off. Go ahead.
Well, this is just a small sample size of what's going to happen through the entire season. Aaron Rodgers is going to have some good games. Aaron Rodgers is going to have some bad games. And it's going to equal out to a nice 9-8 record. And watch they just happen to walk into the playoffs. I'm just saying that's the MO here. But yeah, they got to ask it. Steelers defense need to go in on and wake up though. They allowing that's 30 points back to back weeks. They want to tighten that up.
Is TJ Watt on the field yet? I mean, he got paid. Mm-hmm. Is he playing? Tell. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Monday Night Football. I didn't want to talk about this game, but I briefly wanted to mention it because, man, the Falcons look good. I know week 1 they lost to Tampa Bay, but defensively, to hold that Minnesota team to 6 points, and this would be – they made J.J. McCarthy look like hot garbage. I know for the
Wait
most
that
part,
fourth quarter comeback.
JJ only had one good quarter, and that was in game 1 in the fourth quarter. All the rest of the games, the time he's played, he did not look good. The offense did not look sharp. They need Kirk Cousins back in Minnesota now. JJ is hurt. They should have never let him go. Kirk would not let this happen. That game was still in question, and Kirk would have brought them back. Kirk was on the sideline in Atlanta looking over there like, so y'all thought this guy was better than me? That's what y'all thought. Y'all let me go to bring in this guy.
Did Kirk ever won 14 games this season?
Do what?
So they shouldn't have let Sam Darnold go, what you're saying. They should have kept Sam Darnold.
They let Kirk go 2 years ago when
and then in response, Sam Darnold won 14 games last year.
But Sam Darnold wasn't supposed to be the starter. Sam Darnold
don't matter. He was the starter though. He was the starter.
It don't matter. Kirk need to come on home. My man, you
retirement home? He need to retire?
One of the best receivers in the league. Justin Jefferson went over there and hugged Kirk like, bro, just come home, baby. Just come home, baby. I ain't nothing without you. I ain't nothing without you, dog. Your thoughts on this one, Justin? You an NFC South guy.
I still want more out of Michael Penix. He's not turning the ball over, which is great. But you know, Drake London ain't feeding like he's supposed to be. So like they got to work some things out. But Bijan ran the ball. They played their game. They played some tough defense. Atlanta is a good team, man, and it's just sometimes you got to get on certain stages to kind of prove that, and this is just one of those stages. So I expect Atlanta to win more games than not, and they just did. Just the Vikings are not ready. They I think last week was fool's gold. You got to remember that was against the same Chicago Bears that just got destroyed. They got 50 put on them, and JJ was trash quarters 1 through 3, and then he kind of had a spark. So if you don't include that fourth quarter, JJ has been a failure. Yeah. So he's hurt now. So now he got to nurse his injury after being hurt all last year. So Minnesota, they're going to have to answer some questions if they want to go back into what they was.
Yeah, they need to go get Kirk. But it's interesting. Rest of the schedule. Any games that we didn't talk about? I'll start with you, Calvin. What was the game that jumped out to you that you found interesting from the weekend?
New England and Miami. I guess this is just who Miami's going to be this year. I had higher hopes for after that week 1 loss to the Colts, but I keep hearing this McDaniels going to be the first coach fired, and every time I see him coach and hear him talk, I kind of say I guess it's going to happen. But I don't understand what happened to this team over the last 18 months. 2 years ago, they had a chance to be number 1 seed in the AFC coming into Baltimore. And that seems like ever since then, it's just been downhill. I don't know if Tua just went off and just said, I'm not half the quarterback that Josh Allen is. I understand we all know that, but I don't expect you to say that prior to playing the man on Thursday night. And this is the team that you expect to be the 7th seed in the AFC. This is your guy Tua, who you've been so high on for the last 2 years.
You always
this is what happens. And this is what happens. I'm just talking about a game that we haven't talked about. How Drake may outclass your guy Tua, outclassed him. And we all had hopes for Tua. Hope he stays healthy, though. I say that.
Tyreek, you really do.
Tyreek, who you getting traded to? Who you want to go to?
That was a close game, and Miami should have won the game. Bay? That game was not on Tua. Tua put up 27 points. They should have won the game. The Miami defense should be ashamed of themselves. If you want to lay that game on Tua, you did not pay attention. Tua did his job. Achane was sensational.
Did Tua win?
Yeah, he lost. The defense sucked, man. Go ahead, Justin. What was the game that stood out to you?
You look like your fantasy team.
We still looking for Geno Smith. Will the real Geno Smith please stand up? Because you had a trash performance in week 2. The Raiders as a whole had a trash performance, and you got the Chargers just flying high right now. So I did expect a little bit more from that game. I was let down, and I guess all of Las Vegas was let down. Los Angeles, wherever the fuck, wherever they at right now. It was just bad. I know my man Ashton Jeffrey was like, "Please, yo, I didn't sign up for all this, man. Like, yo, give me an offensive line."
He looked explosive when he touched the ball.
On the first play, yeah, when he ran dude over. After that, it was kind of like they could start comparing to Trent Richardson.
That was bad.
I think that's too early, but
I was kind of like anticipating a better performance. Look, at the end of the day, the Jets are the Jets. You know what I mean? But I wanted them to at least be competitive so that Josh Allen would have to play a little more so I can get some more fantasy points. But it was such a blowout that Josh didn't even have to do nothing. So I didn't get nothing. And I lose in fantasy because Josh barely was on the field and didn't need to because they was smoking the Jets by like 50. Like, come on, man. Like put up a fight. Try. Like, do something. Y'all got a new head coach who I knew wasn't going to make no difference at all. But, everybody talk about Aaron Glenn was going to change the culture. No, they ain't changing nothing. It's the Jets. It's the Jets. That's what happens in New York. They lose. All right? They lose. Anyway, let's move on. So this coming week.
Was that a New York accent just now?
Nah.
Yeah.
Well, this coming week, we got some big matchups. You got AFC East matchup between the Dolphins and the Bills, which probably would be pretty much the same. But again, like I said, Miami's offense did come alive last week. Tyreek got involved. Will they be competitive? Not that their defense can't stop nobody. So no. I think the big matchup for me is Monday Night Football, Ravens and Lions. I mean, two Titans of the last few years. We saw these teams play 2 years ago, and it was kind of like a big game, and it kind of catapulted the Ravens, if you recall. And I think the Lions were really getting on the map 2 years ago and really the Cinderella of the league. But now both of these teams are established teams that really are looking at Super Bowl or bust type of aspirations. And I think at home in Baltimore, it's going to be a big game on Monday Night Football, and I'm really looking forward to that matchup. But another game that I think is important, and that's the Los Angeles Rams and the Philadelphia Eagles. That game right there could be an NFC Championship preview if I've never heard one. That is a big game. And I think Stafford is getting healthy as the season continues on. I got the Eagles winning because it's at home, but I wouldn't be shocked because Puka be making stuff happen. Calvin, what matchup stands out to you for this week?
Look, Denver and the Chargers, an interdivisional matchup. The Chargers will have played all three of their division opponents in the first 3 weeks. They have a chance to go 3-0, and then when you add the tiebreakers up, they could be a game up, or three, and especially 3 games up on Kansas City. And then Kansas City goes to Baltimore next week. So the Chargers really have a chance to kind of start to take a hold of this division, beating all 3 of your divisional opponents first 3 weeks, and then having Kansas City start off 0-2. This is a big week for the Chargers, and they're playing a Denver team that's kind of on par with them in regards to trying to be the next team in the division after Kansas City, or try to overpass Kansas City. So I think that'd be a good matchup to see who is actually going to take that next step in the AFC West.
Who you got winning?
I got the Chargers. Herbert's been playing good. The defense has been playing good. Now, with no Khalil Mack, which we talked about earlier, that may change it, may sway it. But that Denver defense hasn't been playing well. And I think if Daniel Jones can carve you up, I think Herbert can do the same thing with that run game, that 1-2 punch with Hampton and Najee Harris. You got Keenan Allen who's stepping up recently.
Keenan Allen been big, man.
I think I got to go with the Chargers. Home field doesn't really matter to them because we don't have a home field, but they're just playing well right now.
Justin, what stuck out to you? What big game?
Well, first and foremost, the Lions and the Ravens is going to be must-see TV, and I think the Ravens better come to play. But without a shadow of a doubt,
who you got winning?
I got Jameer Gibbs going off in this game.
Oh, yeah, okay. Okay.
So, that was all there.
Roquan got more about that.
So we'll see what happens in that game. But yes, I expect the bomb burner. I don't want no goddamn going 20-17 victory. I need to see some points on this one. But no, the other games, you guys talked a lot about them. But the Cardinals and the San Francisco 49ers, not because it's a great game, because it's going to be a trash game, but the Cardinals can come out this week 3-0. That is very telling. And they're not that good. You know what I'm saying? So I guess you are what the record said you are, but that's one of those games. Two, the Chargers and the Broncos. If the Broncos, I'm going for the Broncos. Let's go for the Broncos on this one. If the Broncos win, so pretty much everyone got lost in that division, and the Chiefs beat the Giants, which I expect them to do.
They right back in it.
They're right back in it. And that's about it. Every other game is okay. And like I said, the big games. I mean, we all just waiting for Monday night, man. So that's just what it's about. I expect the Bucks to beat the Jets, so I'm not worried about that. Maybe that Texans and Jaguars game. We're gonna see who really the best one out of them two. Houston needs a victory. They need a victory, and Jacksonville's the one to give it to you. So we'll see.
I'm gonna tell y'all right now. I know a lot of people going to say I'm crazy, but I'm gonna tell y'all right now. Don't be shocked if Cleveland sneak Green Bay. That's all I'm gonna say. Don't be shocked.
Kevin, how you feel about that?
Don't be shocked because it's in Cleveland, and we know Cincinnati's had problems in Cleveland, Baltimore's had problems in Cleveland, and they have a defense that can give the Green Bay Packers fits. I just like Joe might throw it away on you, but he might. But if they play that game, they could beat the Packers. I'm telling you, man. Watch out.
You mean to tell me I just made a case earlier that the Ravens pinned down on Joe Flacco? You don't think Micah Parsons is going to do the exact same thing?
But defensively, I think they can give Jordan Love problems. I really do. We'll see. But I just think, I'm just saying it. I'm on record. Remember this. Clip this. Don't be shocked if it's a lot closer than you think. That's all I'll say.
No. You said don't be shocked if they win. Now you didn't backtrack.
They might get them.
You see how you try to backtrack real quick.
Hey,
try to backtrack real quick.
Also, shout out to Spencer Rattler. He's been playing solid. I'm not mad at Spencer. Like, young black guy, a lot of people keep thinking, I'm like, that guy is solid. He's not terrible. He's a rookie. Doesn't have a litany of weapons down there in New Orleans, but shout out to him. Getting his feet wet, year one. Let that man grow into what he's going to be. He'll be much better in year two than he is right now. So let's move on because we picked a few games, but the schedule not tremendously difficult next week. Let's get on to some fantasy football because, look, man, I'm a man of honor and valor. I promote when I win, and I'm going to do the same when I lose. So last week, I had a matchup, head-to-head with this guy, we them boys, Calvin, you know what I mean? We're both 1-1 now. I'm third in the league. He's fourth because the points don't matter, but it was a hard-fought win for him. I know you can't see this, but anyway, Josh Allen did not get the points that he needed to, while Dak Prescott damn near put up 90. I mean, that was a difference again. Mind you, look at the score. I had 320. He had 323. So a mere 3 points when I had a guy who put up 30 points at quarterback. He had a guy that put up 80 points at quarterback. And he only beat me by 3 points.
I can go through my lineup and say,
congratulations.
Look, if this person was healthy or this person
congratulations,
more, I would have got more points too. Hell, if Burrow didn't get hurt, I would have beat you in both our leagues.
We're talking about this league.
You're right.
But I beat you in another league. So
you're right. Doesn't matter.
Oh, it don't matter. I'm in first place in that league, but go ahead. Go off. Yeah. But go ahead. Tell us about your team.
Oh, the one that whooped your ass last week, we had an amazing performance by Dak Prescott.
Amazing.
If Cincinnati would have scored more points, I would have gotten more than 4 from my kicker. But that's neither here nor there. If Trey McBride, who's number one receiver in Arizona, would have showed up, would have had more points there. But that's neither here nor there. Had T. Higgins, his quarterback gets hurt. It's neither here nor there. So and then my defense was mediocre. So I had the ability to blow you out even more. But winning is good enough for me right now. I'll just take the victory and just move along. Since you were talking all that stuff last week, just wanted you to get knocked down the peg or bring you back to reality. Your quarterback had 59. Bring you back to reality.
Excuse me. 59 more points than mine, and you beat me by 3 points. Wow. I had
a win.
Breece Hall put up 9 points.
I believe you had James Cook, so that balances out Josh Allen with the run game.
48.
A win is a win. A win is a win.
Brock Bowers had 8 points.
A win is a win. Everyone isn't as lucky to win. I look at my two co-hosts. I think both of y'all lost last week. So
you can see Justin is OTC acknowledge me. He lost as well. So he's sitting in the 8th place in the league, unfortunately.
I should have won that game according to the stats, according to the scores. I should have won. They had me winning that game, so it is what it is. I should have won with Keon Coleman. That was my problem. He whooped the Ravens' ass, and I said, "Oh, he's gonna have a follow-up performance." He did not. So
let's look at the numbers for the whole league. Calvin is in 4th place behind me. Why is he in 4th place after he just beat me this week? Well, if you look at the points for column, I've scored 684 points. He scored 611. The leader of the league only scored 590. So if I were to play anybody but this guy who had Dak Prescott with 89 points,
if I would have played anyone but Mike last week, I'd have won. So
you wouldn't have beat me.
Okay, anybody like 400 2-0. So same difference.
Hey, so again,
it's okay. It's okay. You're 1-0 against everyone not named Calvin. It's okay. Just take that.
We will see each other again.
Just take that.
And Justin, good luck next week.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it makes some sense. All right. Let's talk some basketball. We haven't talked basketball in a while around these parts, but we got to touch on this story because it's been going on for a couple weeks. Kawhi Leonard has been in some, not necessarily Kawhi, Steve Ballmer, the vice president of the Clippers. Supposedly they had him with a no-show job, getting money underneath the table. There's a major scandal in the NBA because if you really think about it, if you think this is the only team who has circumvented the salary cap to try to set up ways for players to get money without it counting against the books, I think you're being naive. But then the story dropped today about Uncle Dennis. If you remember Uncle Dennis, I truly remember Uncle Dennis, who was the reason why Kawhi Leonard left the San Antonio Spurs. He was the reason, not Kawhi. I'm not even going to blame Kawhi because he had terrible representation who led him to leave to go to Toronto when he just did not want to play ball with the Spurs any longer. But anyway, Uncle Dennis presented the Clippers with a series of requests before Leonard ultimately signed with the team on July 5th, 2019. Among them were ownership stakes in the franchise, access to a private plane, a house, and guaranteed off-court endorsement income. So if that's outlined, and then we know about this story that came out about this company supposed to be paying Kawhi for jobs that weren't even real, doesn't that kind of speak to the fact that this is more legit than people were kind of trying to make excuses for? I see Mark Cuban trying to excuse Steve Ballmer, like, oh, he wouldn't do that. Well, clearly, if this was outlined, and there's a source to say he even offered this to the Los Angeles Lakers because he was a free agent looking to sign with either team. Calvin, I know you all over this story. What's your thoughts?
Look, I don't know if I like Mark Cuban's attitude towards this because it makes it seem as though this is something that goes on routinely throughout the league with the bigger stars. They're offered more off the court incentives in order to sign for a certain place. But if you and also I don't appreciate the fact that Kawhi seems to be, or they're trying to paint Kawhi as ignorant of what's going on. Like he was not involved. He knew what was being asked. He was in the room. If it was Uncle Dennis, he was in the room when Uncle Dennis asked for it, and he did not object to it. So therefore, he is complicit in whatever had happened or whatever benefits Uncle Dennis received in lieu of payment from him or from whoever his employer is. So he needs to take responsibility for it as well, and just try not to just skate and be innocent and ignorant of what's occurring as well. Look, I think with a smoke there's fire. I think when you have people that are blaming Pablo for even breaking the story, make it seem like this is routine. But this is if this happened, let's get ahead of it. Let's get the situation out there, and we need to figure out what, if any, what's going to happen to the Los Angeles Clippers to rectify the situation. How are they going to be punished for this? Will it be Kawhi has to go somewhere else? But this can't just occur, and because once again, we talk about we want it to be an even playing field. We like parity. This isn't parity when you have an owner that's able to do more than other owners because of his connections, because of the money he has. Then we're already talking about how your upper teams, your LAs, your Miamis are going to have an advantage. So you can't have it both ways. So if you're found to be guilty, let's hit with the hammer and let's continue to move on.
What's your thoughts about this, Justin?
I'll say this: if New York won the championship this year, I need somebody to send some hitters out, allegedly or figuratively speaking, to Pablo, because I don't want no issues coming out of the Knicks system.
He doing his job, bro.
Jalen Brunson already kind of side eye, or we already had that conversation?
All I'm saying is I don't want no issues coming out of New York. I'm not
you got a ring, what doesn't matter. You got a ring, what doesn't matter.
That's why I'm just saying, let's just get this ring, and I don't want no issues and no ifs, ands, and buts about it. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
So you're saying that Jalen Brunson got a bunch of endorsements underneath the table that are paid for?
Sir, I don't know what you're speaking of.
And when you take $100 million discount, you make enough somewhere.
You're speaking foreign
to me right now. Somewhere. You're getting paid somewhere.
$100 million discount in New
York.
That
podcast is one of the best podcasts next to ours.
Hey, who owns that podcast? Who's sponsoring that podcast? Is it a James Dolan
people of New
marketing?
York? People in New York. Also, while we haven't been talking about NBA, the Basketball Hall of Fame took place. New inductees: Dwight Howard, Carmelo Anthony. They also Bird. They also inducted the Redeem team from 2008. They inducted the entire team. How did y'all feel about that? Like, you had LeBron getting inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame while he still played. Chris Paul. You had Tayshaun Prince. All these guys up there accepting the award while they still playing with the orange jacket on. Like, I don't know, man. That was kind of weird to me. Justin, what was your thoughts on that when all that went down?
I mean, that was quite some time ago. It was 2008. So I don't mind them waiting this many years for it. It's cool because you never know what could happen. One of the main people is not here. So you don't want to keep pushing that back. They do deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. And it was a great team. They got a documentary out and all that. So you just keep that thing rolling all in the same year. So I don't have any issues with that. LeBron James, I'm surprised he was as humble as he was. That's unlike LeBron. I would have been like, yeah, we was there. I did this and I did that, and yeah, we did this, and now I'm getting up. Me and Chris Paul, the only one that's still playing. He said I would have ate that Paul. So, but that's just that team. It was a great team. So no, I don't have any issues with them taking as short as they did to get in. It's been over 15 years. That's cool with me.
Sure.
But I'm just saying, y'all like the concept of them putting like teams in that way and actually having the guys show up. I don't know, maybe the coach.
So you think they should have waited until everyone retired before they did that?
I guess, do you go into, I mean, I guess the Hall of Fame really doesn't matter. I mean, it's not like it's the NFL Hall of Fame or something like that. But I just never like the concept of putting it on par with, like, I feel like this was Carmelo's year. You know what I mean? This was Carmelo, Dwight Howard's time to shine going into the Hall of Fame as single career players. But to have all these rest of these guys go in, like look at this picture. You got Carlos Boozer, Tayshaun Prince, Darren Williams. Like, they're not on par with, they're not Hall of Famers. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
In comparison, they put the Dream Team in the Hall of Fame, what was like in 2010? I guess that was 18. But that was 18 years. So this is only 15.
But they couldn't wait 3 more years till LeBron Chris Paul ain't lasting another 3 years. I'm just saying.
I don't necessarily have a problem with it because you had a Melo and a Dwight Howard both on that team, and they all were also on the 08 team. So it can kind of be seen as though we have 2 members of this class who are also a part of this important team, and them kind of adding them in as well. So
I just would have rather like to see Melo and Dwight Howard get their time in the shine without seeing a LeBron and these other guys. But I don't think LeBron really overshadowed Melo or Dwight. No, but I think it became a story. Like,
it became a story, but it would have been a bigger story if he didn't show up.
I don't think. I just think if you're going to put a team in, have Coach K represent that team, maybe, you know what I mean, and that's fine. But the rest of them guys could have been there to cheer on Melo. Go ahead.
Also, I'll say I think Kobe's passing played a part as well. Like, let's give these players their flowers while they're still here. We don't know year to year, kind of like Justin said. So I think that played a part as well. And I think most of these guys probably haven't been together since. So it's kind of like a reunion of sorts. And you kind of look back at what this team did and how they kind of put Team USA back on the map after, 04 and 06.
Yeah, okay. Difference of opinion. All right, next up, we finished with WWE. This weekend, September 20th, you got WrestlePalooza, the big first show on ESPN's.
You gotta say it like Cody said, yo. WrestlePalooza. That's the Cody version.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Okay. The big thing. This will be streaming live at 7 p.m. on ESPN's new streaming app. If you do not have, it's called ESPN Unlimited. Just to be sure, look, if you don't have if you don't have the app on your regular cable, the providers, I have the list here. So if you have DirecTV streaming only, you have access to it. If you have Fubo TV, if you have Hulu Live TV, you get it. You get Spectrum, you have it, and Verizon Fios, you have access to it. You don't have to pay any additional money. But if you're a Comcast person, Comcast has yet to make a deal. They're looking at possibly the 11th hour. Comcast might make a deal by Friday. They try and put pressure on these companies to come to the table and make the deal. We'll see if it happens. If not, you'll be forced to pay the $30 a month until that comes to fruition. But again, we'll see if it happens. I know there's been a lot of people saying they're not going to pay $30 for a WWE show. But again, it's the entire app. So in essence, you'll be paying for. It's very confusing because if you don't have Red Zone in your package already, you're not going to get that. I mean, they trying to bundle it with Disney Plus and Hulu and everything like that.
And now the bundles are crazy because
the bundles, if you already grandfathered in, it's not going to honor certain ones.
Yeah, it's not a separate app though. It's still the ESPN app, right?
It's the regular ESPN app, but you won't have access to that particular wing of if you don't have a subscription to it. It's still weird. It's just very. I think in the long run, they want all these companies to be able to make the deal, and then all you had to do is go into the login and type in your Comcast streaming password or whatever, and you'll have access. Like I do my Hulu. I tested it out. It works because I got Hulu Live, so I have access.
Hulu Live.
Yeah, I have access already. But it'll be interesting. Main event is Brock Lesnar and John Cena. This is one of Cena's finals matches. Lesnar's one of his classic opponents. We've seen these two have some battles over the year. Normally, is Brock just brutalizing Cena in some way. One of the best matches was like a hardcore match when Brock did that stupid thing where he put the steps in the ring and went and dived over the top rope and clipped his foot and damn near killed himself. But they've had some his memorable brawls, and I think if you really look back at Cena's career and you look at who would you consider contemporary, I think there are about 3 or 4 names. I think if you go back, remember Cena kind of burst onto the scene about a couple years after Brock, because Brock was big, the next big thing. Remember, he came out 2002,
and they
destroying everybody
next year, and
beating Hogan, beating Kurt Angle, beat Rock at SummerSlam for the title. He was the youngest WWF champion of all time, and he was off to the races. Cena comes along, ruthless aggression, and they kind of like kept them apart. Dave Batista, Cena, Edge, Randy Orton. That was that crop of guys. You know what I mean? So he's a natural opponent to be one of Cena's final opponents. I think it might be a chance that they wrestle in some type of inconclusive finish and they had to do a rematch. Or Lesnar might just beat him. I don't know. What's your thoughts there? I think it's up in the air. What you think, Calvin?
So Cena's got including WrestlePalooza, he's got 6 appearances left, and 2 of them are on Raw. One SummerSlam, Saturday Night Main Event, and I'm missing one.
No SummerSlam, you mean Survivor Series.
Survivor Series. But so I mean, I don't know who his next opponent is. So
the question is it The Rock? You know what I mean? That has been the question that's been going around. I don't know. or is it a rematch with Brock? Does he lose his match and it sets up a rematch?
Yeah, I think he loses, or someone help is a reason why he loses, and then you kind of get a rematch with Brock, and then you kind of moves on to the next opponent. But I don't think it's The Rock. I'm happy seeing this going out the way he is. I just don't understand the writing, and this is all Cena as well. So he has creative control. He's doing whatever he wants to, but I'm just trying to figure out what's next, I guess, because it is what happens with Lesnar next. Or is he just done?
No. He signed an extension.
Lesnar signed a multi-year extension.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think Cena's going to lose, because you pretty much crush Brock as being that phenom coming back if he loses to Cena. And then
do you need him to be that phenom coming back though?
Well, that's kind of his MO.
But I mean, look, he's already passed the torch to Cody. So, like, does he need to be that same phenom again?
No, we need to take that one back.
I think you're gonna wrestle Cody again.
Yeah, you got too many mulligans out there. We got to take some back.
Who you got, Justin?
I just said Brock's want to beat this.
Okay, all right. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
WWF title, WWE title match: Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes for the belt. I think Cody wins, but I think it's inconclusive. I think they can stretch this out. I think it's the next feud for the better part of the rest of the year. I think they can really get some mileage out of this between Drew and Cody. I think they have good chemistry, and I think in the end, Cody will probably come out on top, but I don't think he necessarily needs to win conclusively in the first matchup. Your thoughts, Justin?
It'll be different if I can say Drew's going to win this match. It's the first one on ESPN, the first PLE, and all these things.
Kick it off.
But at the end of the day, this is Paul Levesque, and this is Triple H, and this is the Game of Games, and all these King of Kings, and all the other crap that he decides to call himself. And as a result, he will not take any chances here. Cody wins this, no questions.
Smart man. Calvin?
Cody wins. I don't think anyone thinks, at least I don't think anyone thinks Drew wins. But there has to be some sort of splash, something unexpected that happens.
He gets RKO'd.
Cody?
Cody gets RKO'd as well.
Well, interesting. Next up, the match that probably will open the show. Seth Rollins and his wife, Becky Lynch, versus AJ Lee and CM Punk. This has been probably one of the best built feuds they've done in quite some time, man.
Especially bringing AJ back.
There are a lot of people into this one, dog. I mean, I've been hearing it. It's like, I can't wait. I mean, a lot of women love this. They were AJ Lee fans anyway, but I've been hearing it. Like, people I know got disenfranchised or really haven't been paying attention. This feud is kind of like reinvigorated him. And then the little bait and switch they did the other night, little where they act like Seth and Becky was having a little issue, and then they quickly. That was kind of clever. You know what I mean? I thought they've done a good job. AJ's been good. Punk has been good. This is a good story, and it's working. Calvin, what's your thoughts here?
I think Punk and the AJ will win. I don't see AJ coming back and just to lose for that first match. I think we still get that build up for Rollins and Punk, but I'm looking forward to this. I think out of any match on Saturday night.
Justin?
I'm sorry, I just got some bad news. I was looking at the joint. We just lost our starting right guard, and he played the game injured, and now he's out for the season. Sorry about that. Yeah, let's go with Seth Rollins, man. Let's go with Becky Lynch, man. Let's change it up.
You can extend the feud. You could. You can get more than one match out of it.
He should win, but I'm going with Rollins, man. It's more entertaining that way.
Yeah, okay. All right, so you got the Usos versus Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. They've been doing some weird stuff with Jey Uso and LA Knight. I don't know if LA gets involved here in some kind of way and cost them the match, but I think either way, I think Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed walk out of this match on top, because I think Roman has to still get his revenge at some point, but I think we need to build up Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed to be a little strong. So I don't think the Usos are winning their first match back as a tag team. Justin?
Who is Jay talking to?
That was my question. That was my question.
Is it Roman? Is it The Rock? Is it Rikishi? Is it another Samoan that we don't know of? Mm-hmm. Is it Zilla? Who are we talking to? But besides that, I like Jay. I like this new Jay. I like this. I'm not just a geek man. You know what I'm saying? Like I got some backbone. You're just not gonna walk over me.
He need it.
And it works for him. Jimmy will fall in line, and whoever he's talking to, that'd be great too. So I'm interested in seeing that. It'd be hilarious if it's Naomi. That would just be funny. But it's not. But no, for this particular match, I go with the bronze because I don't know what LA Knight's gonna do.
That's what I said.
LA Knight's gonna F this up.
What you think, Calvin?
I agree with that. I agree with that. The LA Knight piece is kind of gonna interfere with this matchup. But my question was who was Jay talking to as well? I mean, I think it was Roman. I don't think it was The Rock yet. I think it was Roman.
I think Roman makes sense. Mm-hmm.
I think just because of the Shua Fowler. So I think we kind of get that piece. And maybe this leads to War Games. And now you have LA Knight. I mean, I don't say you can have LA Knight consider what they just went through, but now you have Roman as well. I guess you gotta have LA Knight with Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. I just don't understand how.
You don't fit. We'll see.
He interjects himself in this match on Saturday, though.
Yeah. And then finally, the best match on the show, in my opinion, as far as wrestling wise, Io Sky and Stephanie Vaquer. I think they're going to put on an in-ring clinic. Io, to me, is the best in-ring wrestler in WWE. And I think it would be interesting because either way, Rhea Ripley is going to have an opponent. But I think Asuka and the Kabuki Warriors are going to get involved some kind of way, cost Io this match. Stephanie wins and wins the title and moves on to her next feud with Rhea Ripley. But Io, I think her and Asuka is the next big match for her. So I think that'll be where they're going. Calvin, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I think we're setting up what's next, Stephanie. So I'm okay with it. I because of the plan for Io. So, but I agree with you.
Justin,
anytime that we can have more women wrestling without the championship belt, I'm okay.
Sure. Yeah.
Stephanie took a break because she was gone for like a good month. We didn't know where Stephanie was at, but she's back now. Shout out to NXT. That was a great episode at Full Sail.
Old comeback, and homecoming.
But if she's going at, let's say you're right. Let's say we go as her and Ripley. Cool, that's entertaining. Now we have the sub card. We got Asuka and Io. That's entertaining. We still got Roxanne and other shorty from the Judgment Day. Whoever they're interacting with, that's entertaining. The only one that's not entertaining is Lara, but we're just not gonna talk about that. But it's this entertaining. So the more the merrier for me.
Yeah. So lot of going on. So that's Saturday, 7 p.m. Big show for the WWE. AEW also has a pay-per-view that afternoon. Going to be coming from I think they're in Toronto. Edge and Christian reuniting as a tag team. So if you're in AEW, I know a lot of our audience pretty much watch WWE. But again, I keep on telling y'all, if you want to see some great action, check out AEW. Come on Wednesday nights. I don't promote it because they come on at the same time that we do this podcast. So, but if you want to check it out afterwards, they're on HBO Max, streaming live, and then streaming every day after.
YouTube it.
You can. Yeah, but they are definitely
on y'all watch us.
HBO Max, and they come on Collision. But I don't promote it often because we got 9 o'clock. I mean, we got 9 o'clock on Wednesday nights, and they run at the same time as us. But AEW got great action as well, and they got the best women wrestler in the world, and Mercedes. That's right. Hall of Fame. Always. All right, that's it for this week. We talked about a lot. Big NFL games coming up this weekend. The biggest game is Monday night. The Ravens and the Lions, and Man, it's a big game. I'll be down there. Calvin, you gonna be at the bank on Monday night?
Darkness Falls. Yeah. So
Yeah, it was an interesting crowd on this past Sunday downtown. It was very interesting.
I didn't know they had the little moments capture thing where they basically, I guess they take pictures of everyone in every section.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they got.
Yeah, no, I saw somebody post it, and then I went to the website and I was like, oh, yeah, I didn't realize that. And they posted like throughout each big moment throughout the game, or whatever. So yeah.
Yeah. They do a good job of capturing the entire stadium now. Yeah. So thanks for folks tuning in tonight. We appreciate you. Make sure you share the video, share the word. Get Off the Damn Fence is here each and every Wednesday night. We love to hear you in the chat. We love.
Who y'all got Monday? Who y'all got Monday? Quick. Who you got Monday?
Ravens.
Lions.
He said it. He didn't stutter. I like that. I like the confidence. It's not like I'm picking the Jets to beat the Bucks. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't stupid. So
as soon as we get off there, you're gonna be like, yeah, I was joking. It's cool.
No.
You think you're selling whoop tickets? Nah, but Tampa Bay and the Jets, you got the Cowboys and the Bears. You think the Bears can give y'all a run for your money?
No.
All right. It's just a question.
Dallas may put up 40.
It'll be fun. All right, folks, we out of time. We thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next week with another edition of Get Off the Damn Fence with Calvin, Justin. I'm Larry. Good night.